Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing who our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, misfits, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, making it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, misfits, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, making it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
Big ups. Welcome back to another episode of the Secret Society of Good Guys. As always, we are your good guys, and it feels like it's been like a month since we've been here for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, make sure you hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe everywhere. If you're following on Rumble, we have 2 channels on YouTube and Project Chaney on X. And then make sure you follow Layla and Abbie and Thomas. I tagged them all in the post. So if you are following on X, make sure you follow them. Yeah, and me.
Yeah.
My name's right there. My name's right here.
Well, if you don't want the secrets of the universe, then you don't have to follow us.
Yeah. If you want to be left behind like Kirk Cameron, don't follow us.
No.
Anyways, big ups. How are you guys?
All right. Not bad.
Does it feel like it's been a long time since we've been here to you guys?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't on last week.
Oh yeah. Maybe that's part of why it feels that way too.
So this show's more and more of like a milestone of my week now. Like I know that it's actually time to kick back once we get to chill.
Because not that serious. We just have a good time. We shoot the shit.
I know you guys. We miss Sundays too. It's like real life kicked our ass for a minute and we had to regroup, and we could have kept doing it, but it was like we were all getting worn down a little bit, I think, and all needed that space. But and even Thomas, he has to be in 3D now a lot. So we had like big plans to do all this production and everything for the Wednesday show, which is like our dream. But real life, we're doing that right now until
back
It'll still
back
happen.
9 to 5.
yeah,
Oh, life.
back to the
What a life.
have you listened to Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 yet since you've been back to it?
I know. Now I'm hearing it in my head right now. Thank you.
Pour myself a cup of what is ambition? I was like, what's the word? Oh yeah.
It's a weird transition going from doing whatever you like, doing your own thing for I did it for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, to now having to wake up and like I'm already late for a meeting. It's a completely different mental space that I'm even in. And like waking up early at like 5 a.m. because I got to drive somewhere and get there by 7. Like it's a whole different world that I thought I had left behind, but it's still right there.
Do you find it weird when you're in whatever kind of meeting or real life thing that you have to do, and it's like, do you feel like you were ever better at LARPing it? Or do you find that you're like okay at LARPing it? Like people think you're paying attention and you're like nodding at the right times.
Full con man. Like I can be the expert you need me to be in whatever context you need me to be it in. But I do realize now, the more that I LARP in different ways, like the ones that feel the most natural to me, the ones that I actually enjoy and I get a rush from versus the ones that I feel depleted from.
Yeah, that is a big, huge part of it. Is like, I don't know what it was. It's like, I really just thought I can put on this hat. Something about realizing it was all a game and a LARP and a thing or whatever kind of, I just felt like it was going to be easy for me to play along because I understand what's going on here. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I go and drop off this. I get this check. This is easy parcheesi. Like for every hour I'm not clocked in for something, doing something for money, it feels silly. But it was like doing it there. I felt like it was like I was in kindergarten time. I was
Yeah.
like, I think I'm going to be here for the next 3 years. I don't think I'm ever getting out of this place. I've never looked at a clock so much. I didn't think at my age it was
Yeah.
even possible to have slow time
Is it
anymore.
recess yet? Is it recess yet?
Mhm.
That's
Like
what I'm
I should
going
just
through.
I wonder if I can save up my bathroom break.
That's the one thing I like about my job. I can go to the bathroom as much as I need to, which is good right now because I'm drinking 1.5 gallons of water a day.
It's like, how long can you fake it? Like,
That's the
I'm
whole
good at faking it.
thing,
Like,
you
I'm good
guys.
at being good, and I'm good at doing whatever the job is. But like, I don't want to do it anymore.
I thought at my age I'd be better at faking it now when something broke inside me.
I don't
Like
want to
even when I
fake.
had cancer, like everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna like the monotony, like everything. You're gonna be so grateful for it." No, it's impossible for me to do it now.
You know where I'd fit in, Chaney, guys? I'd fit in the restaurants where you're allowed to cuss at the customers and like treat them like shit. I would do so well there at my age now. Oh, oh,
You ever heard of one of those?
huh?
Yeah, like Atlanta.
Dick's Last Resort. I think that's the name of it, right? Have you guys heard
Yeah,
of it
Dick's
before?
Last Resort. They used to do when I was in San Diego. I was pregnant, and they did the pregnant bikini contest, and I wanted to do it, but I did not want to do it at Dick's Last Resort. I felt like that was just a bad idea.
If you haven't been or heard of one, it's where you go and the servers are dicks to you. They're actually intentionally assholes, and they'll like roll their eye. Like they still serve you, but they put on this whole show like you're annoying them.
I think
You
it
have
should be
to kind of be
illegal.
rude to get them to serve you. Usually,
I think it should be illegal for servers to be on their feet, or bartenders for that matter, more than 8 hours.
Put them all on segways.
That is crazy to me.
There used to be something like it was understood that because of the high volume of people that we're dealing with, we don't do 8 hours. Everybody, it was like it was understood amongst everybody that like servers and bartenders get a little less hourly because they're getting pounded when they're working. So somewhere along the way, when the government started sticking their hands in our tips, we started working an 8-hour workday. And
Mhm.
that is, you're either an alcoholic or you just go mental.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I could deal with? A 3-hour workday.
5 hours. 5 hours.
Let's
That's it.
about a
5, 6
start low.
hours.
Let's let
That's
them
it.
work us back up to 5. Let's not start at 5.
well, what about like just a
Okay,
4-day
great.
work week?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now till like end of
I'm
May.
still
I'm so
looking
excited.
for other
I think
jobs.
20 hours a week to
better
somebody else
hours.
is plenty to give. Honestly,
Yeah,
20
it
hours a
is.
week, however you want to break that up. If you want to do it in 4 days, if you want to do it in 5, but 20, even when I'm saying it to you guys, 20 hours of my week, that's a lot to give anyone. The idea
Yeah.
that we just give 40 and it's normal and then you hit overtime is wild.
Well, here's the I don't know if I brought this one up on the last show, but this is like the worst thing for me to hear. But that you literally work for at minimum 3 months of the year just to pay taxes. Like for
Yeah.
3 months of your entire year, 100% of all that money just simply goes to income tax.
Like 1 year every 3 years or something like that.
Right?
I thought it was, but yeah,
That's
something like that.
heartbreaking.
It's
Yeah.
What are we
heartbreaking that,
doing?
and
Like-
it's crazy because like that, like you go to jail if you don't, right? That's
Straight
ultimately
to
on a threat
jail.
of force.
And then
You
think
stay-
about that kind of fleece that just that free time wherever just the average American, which the average American now, if you think of it to 20 years ago, just like how they're just scraping to get by, like the average American, that idea is kind of normal. Like maybe they have a paycheck in the bank, like maybe. And so it's just like this idea that people are barely getting by, working more hours than they can, and then to get sick on top of it. Like,
Well,
heaven forbid you
Or you're
actually.
saying like a paycheck in the bank, but like honestly, if you had 50 grand in the bank, if you had 100 grand in the bank and you had the right illness, it's gone overnight and now you're still in debt just as much as anyone else that started out at zero. You know, like once you're in debt, that kind I've known some people that have hospital bills that have amounted to $3-4 million and now they're just so beyond bankrupt that everyone knows they're not going to collect from them, and some of them just get it, I guess, sort of I forget what they call like forgiven, like just like pure debt forgiveness, and then someone gets to write it off somewhere down the line, I'm sure. But I
So,
mean,
like, you're
it's
saying
crazy.
even mentally, like 2-3 months that you just give to, maybe it's more like 3 to 4 months that you just are shoveling away to the IRS or some kind of tax system that you may or may never see any. You might be giving it to a 150-year-old that's been collecting it for 70 years. You know, like who knows what's going, or a country you've never heard of.
Trans mice.
Yeah, like, or yeah, so it's just like the idea, let's just say you were okay with the system, but that time, that 3 months a year, imagine the mental on everyone you love. Like they're essentially taking your summer from you. Like as a student, it's like, nope, that summer you come to work for the government.
Oh,
It's
imagine having 3
crazy.
months to
Pretty
dedicate
much.
towards anything. If all four of us, we were given the option, look, for the next 3 months, we all just work for the government and that's it, and nothing else comes out of it, or we take that time off and work on something together. It would be incredible, right? A 3-month project to be able to actually focus on something. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're giving up that potential to the government every single year,
You
no
could
matter
build a
what.
house. I mean, we could, the four of us, just the four of us, if we all together had 3 months collectively off every year, legit, and I'm not even being facetious, we could build a house together every year.
Yeah.
Just the
And
four of us.
you know, it's
It's
another
wild.
point that we need to wake up to, all these human right things that we fight for, human right, my body, my choice, or this and that. You know, it's a human right to be able like eat. So food should be a human right and that should be free. Housing, humans should be able to live in a house. That should be a human right. Why aren't we fighting for these things as human rights to like live as fucking humans? But we're fighting for things that are like dividing us instead of like something we can all agree on. Fucking food, number one, that should be free, and it should be in a way where like it's not like communist style, but like there's an abundance of it. We're throwing food away because it looks ugly. Like
That's
just because it's not shaped right, we're throwing this food away, and it's just like, what are we doing? Like we're not
Tupac
fighting
talked
for the
about that. He said he thought it was bullshit that people lived in mansions. You know, he's like, I don't care if you're rich and everything, you shouldn't live in a mansion when there's all these people. Like you have all these empty rooms, and there's all these
yeah,
people that don't have homes. Like that's
yeah.
bullshit.
I think kind of the other way. I think everybody should have a mansion. I'm like, there's no reason.
I'm
Like
cool with
the
that.
housing market is
Yeah,
completely bullshit. They had us literally building house. This is like one of
all the
those
empty
things
homes
where
in
it's short
Detroit. There you
attention
go.
span theater a little bit. So they use this whole phony narrative of COVID to shut down all these hotels. And so then the hotels were forced, if they wanted to stay open at all, to become some kind of like health shelter for COVID. And so then it gave this whole false boom to Airbnbs, which gave everybody the opportunity to kick out the everyday renter. And it gave a whole false housing market bubble. Don't get me started on pensions and 401ks and blah, 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 blah. But it's worse than 2008 because now they've coupled it with all the debt that still hasn't been paid off from then. So it's just like this housing market is so phony. And then all the meanwhile, you guys, this is the part that is like table flip worthy. They were trying to sell us a plague at the exact same time, where it's like, if that's the case, my little Lego brain says you don't need more houses because a plague is killing people.
They weren't even good at it. It wasn't even a good plague.
It wasn't even a good one. It was an embarrassing plague.
I was more scared of bird flu in like 2006.
But you know, science shows that you can't really catch any of these diseases. Like you can't catch anything. What is happening is something that's going on internally, whether it's the food, the water, the air, something that you're taking in, and it's causing like a bacterial reaction. That's what a virus is. It's some kind of bacteria. Like I went down this rabbit hole of like trying to search for a virus under a microscope. I don't think you could find one. You'll find CGI versions of it. So it's just that making me ask questions, plague this, plague that, but what are they really doing? And it's going back to like watch the waters and looking back in history and how a certain group of people, which I don't want to mention, would go to different wells in different parts of the country and poison everybody's water with fucking snake venom. And, tribes of people just fucking dying. And then these people that we can't mention, all of a sudden run the country. They take over. So it's like that same idea. They say the virus this, virus that, but that's what the whole serpent is the fucking poison of the water. And that's where we're getting it. We're all fucking ingesting it. Whatever it is, some kind of chemical warfare. But that's my take on it. That's how they're doing it. Watch the waters.
And the fluoride, right? Well, the fluoride was just like a tinier version of that. So
yeah.
A slightly subtle version.
Fluoride is one thing, but God knows what else is in there. Do I ever sit down?
Look at the DuPont family. Like they have that, like how long were they allowed to rinse Teflon downstream? And now like 99% of the creatures on the planet all have this chemical in them because they were just allowed to do it. But why? So then we get into this like whole big fail where we're always told it's about money, but it's kind of infuriating that it's like our health doesn't make it. Like that should stop yesterday. Like, oh, your company goes out of business now. And now there's lawsuits for days. Like you don't even get to try to overcome this if you're a murderous company. But those are the people that, run us.
Yeah.
Fox, what was it? Fox catch us.
So if we're not careful, we're going to start coming up with great justifications for like EPA and other sort of regulatory agencies, right? The reason why you can't eat tuna more than once a week, I think it is.
Well, cause the problem and give a solution. So they'll give, just like fucking Bill Gates, create a computer, add a virus, and then buy the software.
You're not wrong. I mean, it's like poison the water supply, and then the solution is buy our bottled water.
Oh yeah, that's that. They've thought of it all, motherfuckers, sons of bitches. Sick of them.
Sick of them. I'm sick of them. I can't even take it anymore. I'm sick of them.
Sick of them. Get out of here, you fucking dumb motherfuckers.
On my computer screen right now. I feel like half my computer screen's like invisible. Okay. Figured it out.
Is anyone in your families or close circles freaking out about tariff stuff?
I thought you were going to ask if they were freaking about the asteroid about to explode the moon.
That happens all the time, though.
I think the tariffs are a great thing, honestly. I'm just waiting and watching. I'm just waiting because they were fucking us left and right hard. Now it's time for America to fight back.
It hasn't even started yet. It starts on May 1st, I believe, right?
On May Day.
On May Day, yeah.
Yeah, he just called it out.
He spelled everything out, but it's actually, and this is what's crazy is because, I mean, I've been printing all kinds of stuff all over the world. When it's cheap to do it in the US, I do it in the US. I got a printer in South Florida. Sometimes I just drive there myself to save money on shipping. But when I do huge jobs like the ones that get like 5,000, 10,000 prints, like I got to do it in China because it's so much cheaper, even with the tariffs. Even if they did a 200% tariff, it would still be cheaper. But here's the crazy part is that I don't think I have in my entire life paid a tariff on anything because, and I'm trying to figure out why. I've been slipping through the cracks? No, what happens is everyone just lies. They all just lie about, they'll just say that this product that I'm sending is worth $0 or it's worth $1. And even if you want to put a 200% tariff on that, what is it going to be, $2? And usually in administrative fees, there will be a minimum. It used to be 800, and now they're saying that the minimum is gone. Like even if it's less than 800, you're going to have to pay it. But for as long as I've been alive, anything that was under a massive container that comes directly off a ship, and goes to like a docking yard, anything slightly smaller than that can be delivered parcel or even pallet directly to somewhere, it's never been charged tariff, and that's just been like this loophole since forever. So it is kind of crazy that they're going to try and close this loophole because it's never been closed before. In 40 plus years, it's not been closed.
Wow.
And I think it's kind of funny that like like certain countries came out of the woodwork and they were like, "Hey, we just want to sign this document and let America know that we aren't going to give them tariffs anymore." And everybody thought that made them in the clear. And when the list of tariffs came out, it was like, "Nah, we know you're sneaky." Like everybody was on that list of tariffs. There was like no safe thing, but all those countries have been fleecing us our entire lifetimes that I don't really understand for anyone what their reasoning, like whatever was happening before was obviously not working. So if people want to like like where you pull out the and all the dishes stay, like magic trick, you pull the tablecloth. That's kind of what I feel like is happening a little bit. Like, are the markets reacting? Yeah, and that feels like hack the Gibson, hack the world. Like it feels like hackers. Like who gives a fuck about like all the crypto took a dive for like 48 hours, but now it's all like it took like a jump up. Like it gathered all this liquidity and now all these people are like fuck the markets. And so I'm like, isn't that kind of what part of it is too, where people are like fuck the markets, I'm going crypto?
Well, and then I wondered how all these people from all these countries who are making so much money off of us because of their tariffs coming here into this country with their name brands and their beautiful cars and being able to spend wads of cash. And I'm just like, how are these nations able to be this wealthy? And that's the plan that I see with these tariffs, is like everyone having a chance in this new generational wealth that is happening. So if these companies are scrambling, Nike is a big one, scrambling to think, what are we going to do? Tariffs this, tariffs that. And America is our number one like buyer. Like, what do? They're going to be forced to open companies here, employ more people here, raise the even the minimum wage of people here. So for me, I see like wealth happening for us in America finally.
Don't you think this a little bit? So in the next 10 years, like let's say we open all these plants and all this manufacturing and all this work comes back to America. It's not even like everyone's like, Americans don't want to do those jobs. Americans do every job you think that they don't want to do. Whatever job you pick, grove, lawns, paint houses, whatever thing, Americans do those jobs too. They have companies doing those jobs. So it's just like, and it doesn't matter, like pick a color of skin of the American, they're doing that job too. And so I just feel like in the way, I don't think our workforce is necessarily going to be big enough. And so this walks in the automated worker. This walks in the robot. And so having a very robotic manufacturing society.
So it's probably just being people controlling and monitoring the AI production and coding what AI or these bots need to be doing pretty much to run. Or maybe not. Maybe they're just going to get paid around just watching them. Just watchers. They're going to call them the watchers. Babysitters.
Until the AI gets
the AI babysitters.
There was another point to what you were talking about, Chaney, but other countries are able to fleece us in completely different ways. And it doesn't always have to be tariffs or have to be so direct. And one of those examples is a little bit more nuanced, but it's like the Silicon Valley boom, right? Technology, internet, like the entire revolution of into like a digital age, it kind of was spawned from Silicon Valley. And instead of, say, Europe having their own version of Silicon Valley and making their own crazy innovations, that what they do instead is they come up with all these laws that didn't exist before, and now they exist, and now they're going to sue Twitter and they're going to sue Meta and all these Silicon Valley companies. They just sue them for breaking these new European laws that only exist in Europe, and like, oh, you violated this, you owe us another $10 billion, whatever it is. And it's just like a sneakier version of a tariff because they're just saying like, oh, you're violating these things and we know how big you are. You can't just change course and require everyone to fill out this survey all of a sudden. And if you don't do it by next year, now we're going to sue you, $50,000 for every person. You've got 100 million users. That's how they come up with these crazy numbers. And at a certain point, Google and Meta and all these companies, they'll just pay it because it's easier to just be like, whatever, here's what you're yipping at. Maybe this will make you shut up. And it just turns into like this weird bribery scheme. But that is just another different weird form of a tariff, in that in lack of their innovation, they just want to make ours more expensive. It's kind of the exact same premise, but it's like a 21st century version of tariff. Tariff is such an outdated concept now.
Do you think this is a possibility then, guys? Like, if we talk about all these, like, not many people working and all of these AI bots working, do you think maybe then the handmade work of humans is going to be so much more wanted and more valuable, since less people will be working and more people will be seeking that type of craftsmanship, like human made stuff rather than AI made stuff? Could that be something that could
I think it's
happen?
a romantic idea, but I'm a skeptic on this side. I might be like a super pessimist, but I almost think that at a certain point, the AI robotic stuff will be better. And usually we're like, oh, but you can tell that the human has like a
Better,
soul,
yes.
but
Yeah, better, yes, but for that value, like art, like how a lot of art collectors will keep it forever. It'll probably be so rare for humans to work on a thing that if a human does that, like let's
how would you
say
trust
create
it?
silk robes, and they don't do that anymore by hand, and it's robots that do it. But finally, we have this one person who still knows that trait and can do it by hand. Don't you think people like seek that more?
I think there would be way more scammers that pretend like they're making it handmade, but they're really
Uh,
just drop shipping it. Just like you go on Etsy right now, and 99% of the crap that says handmade and you buy it, it just comes in a box from China. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's kind of the way that so even if the human version is in demand, someone will just find a way to like imperfect the perfect AI version and be like, look, I made this last night. Here you go.
Uh-huh.
Well, you guys know Bill Gates just came out and said that there's only going to be 3 jobs that are not going to be taken over by AI, and that they're coders, energy experts, and then biologists. But I can't see
And think how
coders being a
all
thing.
fake that
Yeah.
fucking bullshit is, that his
Right.
fake stay on science, when
Coders?
it actually
Really?
thinks like biology. That
Yeah.
seems like a computer would be really good at putting something under a
right?
microscope and being like, if you're telling me I can take a picture of a fucking leaf and it tells me what kind of plant it is and if it needs water or not, but it's not going to be good at biology. Like, I
Right?
just think Bill
Yeah.
Gates, like, how about
Farmers, plumbers. Sorry,
anything he
there's things
says,
that humans are going to have to do.
Yeah, I don't agree
anything
with
he
him on
says,
coders at all. I can see
Coders seems
how
ridiculous.
coding is getting phased, that like not at the high level. It's going to be so weird though. Like the high levels of coding aren't getting phased out because you need those high levels to fix the problems the AI comes up with. But AI 100% can replace junior coders, people that are just starting out, not making a whole lot, kind of getting like cutting their teeth on it. But what's going to happen is that after 10 years or 20 years of AI replacing all those junior coders, and then all the senior coders, they retire and they go away. Now there's no like journeyman sort of like evolution of learning in your job. There's not going to be those newbies that got a little bit better and a little bit better and all of a sudden they're senior. There's going to be a huge gap in that. So at a certain point, maybe coding is safe just because so many people are getting phased out. Like you really have to be willing to hate it in order to last through all the different AI revolution that's coming.
I think plumbing is never going to die.
Yeah.
green-eyed
Like the
crow. Not
trades.
sure I'm ready to see an AI hairstylist.
Me either. It might not
Electricians,
take
whatever.
your opinion into consideration.
Do you like that sign there, Layla?
Which one?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you knew you were behind the cat face, because there was
Oh.
a time you were leaning and you were giving me Yellow Jackets season 3 vibes. Yellow Jackets season 3 vibes.
Oh, I need to see if there's another episode or 2.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, that would be some stuff I talked about on Sunday night. It is so funny. I don't want to give anything away for anyone watching it. I don't want a spoiler alert.
I tried watching it, and then I think me and my girlfriend immediately realized I don't even think we saw season 2 because they were doing all these flashbacks.
Wait,
and stuff.
watch what?
Yellow Jackets.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It
So good.
is with Christina Ricci and Juliette Lewis, and
It's like Alive, but with girls in the United States, and it's kind of witchy.
Huh.
It's got Lost vibes a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah, actually, like I watched it, started watching at the same time I rewatched Lost. So.
it's like Lost mixed with the Blair Witch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I've been watching Bridgerton again.
And so it took me when shows do cut back in scenes like, you know, where they go back in time and then forward. And sometimes those shows take me a minute to get into. But once I do, I usually enjoy them. And
Yeah.
Christina Ricci, this character that okay, she's in The Last of Us, and she always just has an I don't give a fuck attitude. She's a great actress. We all know how we feel about Juliette Lewis around here because she saves us, you know, with the power of Britney Spears. But Christina Ricci in this role, which it always feels like she's kind of like, I don't know, in our zeitgeist, in the Juliette Lewis or Christina Applegate, she's like one of these girls.
A blonde, of course.
This character with this wig and these glasses, like I just feel like if any one of the four of us sitting here put on this wig and these glasses, we would become the character she plays.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like so silly. But anyways, Yellow Jackets, it's a really weird show, and I don't want to say how there was like something that happened in the last episode that I took in that I was like, this is kind of what I thought. You know how when people, this will give something away, but I don't care. You know how when people are like, you guys, I think there's a ghost in the woods, and they're playing it, and you're like, that's what a moose sounds like. That's how I feel. Like that's a moose screaming, but it sounds like a bloody curdle of a Blair Witch. But sometimes I just think there's natural things that do happen in nature, but if you're not in nature all the time, they would seem very supernatural.
People like,
I mean, if you
swore
ever
you saw
watched
something magical happen.
There's a show, is it called Alone or Alive? I think it's called Alone, where they just put someone in the Alaskan tundra and just see how long they can last, if they can last for 10 days
Wow,
or 30
that's a great
days or whatever
idea.
it is. But it's this exactly what happens is after you're there for a week, every little sound you hear, every little twig snap, it could be anything. And you can see people either underreacting or overreacting but like, yeah, we've conditioned ourselves so far away from that being normal that we're all going to hear ghost sounds. We're all going to see aliens if you stick us out in the middle of the woods for long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your brain or your perception of this or whatever, your way of creating the matrix starts creating the sounds.
Or you just start mailing everyone bombs.
Or you just finally are in tune to it and they're really there.
Yeah. And they accept you as one of them.
Yep.
Well, isn't that like kind of a theory of what's going on right now is like the veil's thin everywhere, and then some spots people theorize that maybe it's thinner in parts of the woods. And so
I would think so.
You just wonder where like there's places where there's stairways and a door. And then what was there in another time or like in the exact time right now, but maybe like a ghost or a memory or something so big that it imprints on forever.
Energetically, yeah.
What if it's the mushrooms? The whole net of the mushrooms, and we don't even know it.
That's
original
interesting
AI.
too.
Yeah.
Because they're like its own species and their own like fucking magic.
Dude,
maybe
if we trip on them from boiling down, plants are so smart and they like they know exactly when we're coming. Like, you know, birds sing and certain plants react to it, or a lawnmower goes on and grass tells all the trees, you better shut your stuff down. Like, here comes the lawnmower. Like, they start talking to all the trees going in all the other directions. Like, they know stuff. So then it makes me think, what if mushrooms could just go whenever they
Yeah.
want and really make you trip in the woods without even eating it.
Well, have you heard that whole theory that mushrooms are basically like taking
Aliens.
over the world? Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're essentially like taking over everything, and that's
What
like
if
because
their
in the
things?
decomposition in the whole chain of it all, like mushrooms grow out of everything that's rotted, so they want you to die. They want like
What if, y'all, what if shrooms and the spores that fly around in every species that is, what if that's the daemon that lives in the ground, like lower level? What if that's the entity and we have no fucking idea? And these are the entities that we sort of like breathe in and they take over, and it's like we're living their lives and their reality because they're creating it with the
I'm
whole
sorry,
net.
Nimrod is making me do this, and I feel like he did it to everybody, and so I just have to say, breathe in, breathe out, breathe
telling
in,
you.
breathe out,
It's
breathe
just like
in.
it kind of makes sense when you think about it because
like
they
you
are like
will.
globally, or I don't want to say globally,
Thanks, Abbie.
realm connected. And what if they are the Matrix creators
Well,
of
that's kind of what Abbie was mentioning too. One of those guys is Paul Stamets, and one of his ideas is that all mushrooms on the entire planet are actually one large super
Yes,
organism. It's
one
like
organism.
it's like the smartest animal on the planet because it's one animal. And like it gets a little bit crazier is that mushrooms created humans because mushrooms were smart enough to know, and don't get triggered right away, that humans could get to outer space, and that humans would be mushrooms' best chance of spreading throughout the universe, because mushrooms themselves can create rocket ships and go out in outer space. But if they make humans that can do those things, or whatever, fill in the blank, we can travel to the other, outside the Arctic wall or whatever. But like we can do things they can't. So we were actually created by mushrooms just as a tool for mushrooms to spread their spores even farther.
oh my god, the Smurfs. It's making
Yeah.
so much sense to
And
me.
we're like one of the only animals too that like picture any other animal that a mushroom might get on. Its region or its area or its habitat is like usually similar to itself, but humans kind of can go everywhere. And because we're warm enough, it's like we can pass spores to each other. We're like the perfect vessel for them to legitimately get everywhere.
Can mushrooms grow in the water, like in the sea? Do they have like sea mushrooms that we're not aware of?
Good question. I actually don't know.
Let's see.
Well, I
I
don't know. It makes
wonder.
it like I used to have a saltwater fish tank, and like the soft corals and
Yeah,
stuff, they
algae and
almost seem
stuff.
like fungus. Like they almost look like mushrooms. Like, and you just sit there and I don't know, they look like little hands. They're all beautiful. I don't know, but they seem like fungus. I don't know what they are.
I'm
They're
putting
animals.
in fungus
allegedly.
in ocean fungus. Fungus in the ocean because I don't know why, and this is my Lego brain. Mushrooms always give me an octopus vibe. Like they feel like a similar
Oh my
creature.
god.
I
And
can't help
the
it.
whole smartness of the octopus of it all. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
even like the
back to the OA too. Like what
there
isn't
is.
that the weirdest thing in the OA? The octopus scene.
oh my
There
gosh, there
is.
totally is. Let me go to
Dude, there's
the
something to this.
Yeah, like
This is an
the
egg
soft
hunt.
corals. That's what they look like. They look like mushrooms.
Egg
here.
hunt.
It's
Look at
crazy we eat octopus, and octopus are arguably so much smarter than even like the smartest dog could ever be.
Why octopus?
look
Oh
at
no.
There it is.
could mysterious
Are you
marine
awake or are you dreaming?
fungus save us from antibiotic resistance? DNA sampling is
I'm awake.
revealing fungi thriving throughout the ocean from hydrothermal vents to the open seas. They might even help tackle antibiotic resistance and clear up plastic pollution.
There's something.
Only because they need us to stay alive so that they can keep spreading.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe live through us.
Okay,
These are
lichen.
lichens.
Isn't that like
Lichens.
yeah? Isn't that also like the name for werewolves too? Is lichens?
The Britain
A
might include the
mushroom.
brightly
So it's a room. A mushroom. A room. Room. A mushroom. Why mushroom? Why they name it mushroom?
Mushroom is a weird word.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta go on an etymology tour right now.
Well, this is also something crazy too. That in English, until very recently, there was only like 5 or 6 words for mushrooms, and outside of the word mushroom, almost every one of those words implied deadly nightshade or like death caps, or like they all had these very bad connotations to them. Where outside of the West, there were 50, 100 words for all these different types of mushrooms, and so many other cultures would just go out and gather a lot of those.
Y'all, I don't know
Specifically
why
America.
it never dawned on me. A fungal growth that typically takes the form of a domed cap on a stalk with gills on the underside.
Mhm.
Fish and humans. They're a crossbreed. Dome cap reminds me of the Albanian cap. You know, the plio.
Or the
plius,
firmament, right?
The plius.
What is that movie? We talked about it recently, and it's part 2, but there was never part 1. With the little mushroom guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the old lady has the little plant, and it's like a mushroom that's talks to her.
No.
Mm.
No,
Little
I have
Shop
no
of
idea what
Horrors?
you're talking about.
No, it's like this
Poor
apartment,
Seymour
these
pushed the
apartments, and like
broom,
this kid like
nothing in his
moves
room but
in, and
gloom and
this little
doom.
old lady sits
Then
and
he
talks to her
left
plant.
you and give him room. Sorry.
What is it called? We've talked about it on here before.
I didn't know what it was.
I think
but
I need a God trip soon. Or something.
A
It's been a
hero dose?
minute.
A heroic dose?
Mm-hmm. It's been a minute. I deserve another one.
Was that
Oh, it
what
was
was
just called
there?
Troll.
Oh, Troll 2. Okay. I
Yeah.
wanted to say it, but you kept saying mushroom, but I didn't know there was a mushroom in that movie.
There is. This is like this little old lady. The old lady in the apartment would sit there and talk to her plant, and the guy, like, they all thought she was crazy. And then at the end, it shows like she's actually talking to her plant, and when she lifts something off of it, it's like a mushroom thing.
You just spoiled the whole movie, didn't you?
yeah,
did.
Abby's really bad at that. That's why I was nervous with the even. I didn't know how far she made it in. What is that? Yellow Jackets. And so I was like, oh,
Nostalgia.
she's gonna say it.
I didn't say
Well, the
nothing
Sixth
about Yellow
Sense.
Jackets.
She
Thank you
did.
very
First
much.
of all,
You did great.
Wow, nostalgic as fuck.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
that wasn't a spoiler. It was just a freaking weird thing.
It was just a weird sidebar. It was
I've
just a
seen it
side
now.
mushroom.
Yeah, it's just something that stood out in my memory from being a kid. It was just
Well, then in
weird.
another isn't penicillin like a fungus?
Yeah, well, it comes from mold.
And so
yeast, right? Isn't it mold on yeast?
Yeah, like it was like on bread or whatever.
it's a flea on a roach. But in the way it's almost like I know these things from other planets, like one of the mushrooms came to help us, and the other one's like nefarious. It'll help us trip, and then other ones are poisonous.
Yeah, it's like Mario and Wario, right? From the
Yeah.
different mushroom kingdoms.
Or you might turn into like a fire Mario.
I wonder how mushrooms and crystals tie together in all this, since they both grow from the ground and in the ground, and
In
I
wet,
wonder
dark
how they're
places.
tied together.
Well, those mushroom fairy rings,
Yeah.
that just grow randomly.
Really? Yeah.
Well, crystals would be like the underground, in-ground versions of mushrooms in a way.
Yeah,
Because mushrooms eventually come to the surface, so they actually have to
that's true.
see moonlight and get some oxygen, but crystals don't.
But isn't there nervous system or neural network like deep in the ground too? They
I
have
mean,
like a
technically,
whole net.
that's the mushroom mycelium. The mycelium can go through pretty much anything aside from like stone or crystal.
I feel like you know how sometimes like for some reason I feel like this thing from Sarah G, when you're watching an apocalypse movie and then you see a newspaper roll across the street from like 10 years before that are like new vaccine came out. Like I feel like for some reason penicillin is the only mold that will grow on cantaloupe is a great apocalyptic hack or apocalypse
Yeah.
hack. That is a great apocalypse hack.
My mom's allergic to penicillin. If she takes it, she drops, like knocks
I
out.
am allergic to penicillin,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Pro
won't
tip,
just drop.
if you well, I don't know if this is
I'm
true
not passing
anymore, but
out. Drops.
if you join the military and tell them that you're allergic to all the cillins, penicillin, moxicillin, all the
You don't have to
variations,
get the peanut butter
then
shot.
you don't get all of the shots on the day that they give you all the shots. They'll give you pills instead, and you can just not take the pills. Ask me how I
So
know.
lucky. Like that
Mhm.
penicillin shot is the worst. It's like it hurts for
Painful.
days
You
and
just got to
days.
tell them that you're allergic, and at least back,
Well, I brought my shot record, so I didn't have to get a whole
We're
bunch
all
of shots.
vaccinated.
But
yeah,
probably Thomas and I more than anybody because
oh yeah.
we had to get like
We're
We're
high
all-
grade yellow fever
vaccinated.
and all those weird ones.
We all are.
We're all vaccinated, bro. Trust the government. I love
I
it.
remember going to
It's
school
so
and
great.
lying about it, like getting like forging the nurse's signature or whatever. I don't know if you guys did that, but like in public school, you'd get called during a certain period to go to like the gymnasium or something, and they would just be giving out shots to all the kids, and you'd have to
Oh.
get it and get it signed off, and you could go back to class.
They did not do that at my school, thank God. They would
How
just
do
send
we
home a
have-
letter like to your parents saying that you had
Yeah.
to get boosters.
That's
We have so much faith. I love it. What do you think about it? Deep? Like we take these pills and like, oh yeah, it's just headache medication. Oh yeah, it's just
Everyone's doing
allergy
it.
medicine. Yeah, no problem. We have that much trust. I love it.
Well, it's kind of weird. It's like how frequently animals like have certain little things, like they grow a tail that looks like a worm and they're tricky. Like they're doing tricky shit to each other to like, or a plant that grows that smells like dead flesh just so it can catch a fly. Like tricky little shisty stuff.
Octopus do that too, right?
Yeah, and so
Octopi.
yeah, I feel like somewhere humans, we must have had a good instinct for things that has really been numbed out of us.
Yeah.
Like how Thomas said, if you put that person in Alaska for 10 days, how all of a sudden every mother, because now all your instincts of staying alive again are back, where we're just numb to all those things that need to happen all the time. Like you might spend 3 hours a day just getting wood because you know what it's like to be without the wood. So that just takes up time that you maybe don't have time to worry about what's going on in the Middle East. So I think even that kind of stuff, that we have anxiety for things that we'll never see or know
Which
because we don't just have to get by.
is the opposite of Encino Man, right? Like you take Encino Man and just put him in the middle of a busy city. Now every single car going by or like loud noise, like what's that? Because all their reactions are based on understanding
Fight or flight.
that sound is this far away and it represents either a threat or it doesn't. But now all of a sudden, if you're bombarded with like cars whizzing by and lights flashing and all this, it's the exact opposite of that. So like we would be the inverse of Encino Man to take any one of us and just put us out in the wilderness.
But then again, just take one of us and put you out in the dark at night. That's it. Like no lights. You would hear everything. You would perceive sounds to be threats, or you know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't take
A lot of
much
your
at
100
all.
monkey would come back pretty quick.
It would be very fast. Yeah.
Like even how quickly you as a human, you're like, "Brr, I'm cold. What am I going to get to cover up?" Like that's your first thing is your elements. And then you're like, "Okay, now I'm thirsty. What am I going to do?" And I even think a lot of humans,
Gotta
even
trigger
once
me. We're going right there.
no, I think a lot of humans are actually a little more where they all learn something in a movie. They'll be like, "Girl, I saw Grey's Anatomy once. You just don't go drinking still water." And you're like, "How do you know that? You've never been camping." But people, I do think the right information gets in their head. Like
Yeah,
cantaloupe.
Like the cantaloupe mold.
Yeah. It was, I know I saw someone, Zephyr with a cat's meow frequency mimicking a baby cry.
yeah.
And think of those little schlicksters. They watched it. Huh, look at that.
Even
I
if
can
That's
sleep
baby
through
give
almost
milk.
any sound. I don't sleep through babies crying and then cats meowing. And like people always are like, I don't understand that. Why does the cat wake you up and no other sound wakes you up? Because it sounds like a freaking baby.
there's this frog outside of my door it sounds like a little fucking chihuahua barking. I'm like, whose dog is that? And my father's like, that's not the dog. It's the fucking frog out there. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm literally thinking it's a fucking dog, like outside my window. But no,
I
it's a
have
frog.
saved a frog from a snake's mouth because I thought it was a kitten in a tree at first. It's
Oh
like
shit.
the frog called me with the weirdest sound. I was on a run. And I'm like, "What is that sound? Sounds like a kitten in distress." And I like followed the sound in a palm frond. I looked up and there was a snake with a frog in its mouth. Like, and the frog was like, "Help! Help!" But in like, it sounded like a cat meowing. And so I was just like, shit, I have to be part of nature today. I didn't even want to be part of nature today. I was just going on a run. And so I threw like a stick or something at the snake and it dropped the frog and the frog jumped out of the snake's mouth. And the snake stayed up in the tree. Thank goodness. I was like, this is going to go awry on me.
Yo.
You guys,
Yeah.
there was a spider this big in my bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
Me and Jules almost got a divorce.
I would have cried.
She did.
I
I was
would've
like,
too.
I have to get this thing out of my house. I hate spiders, hate it, but then I'm
I would have
trying
been
to
calling
like,
911.
yeah. Dude, this is the weirdest thing. My mom was just swinging by to get something, and my mom is Southern for Southern. Like she didn't give a shit. Like me and Jules, I'm like, I had the bathroom window open and I was trying to get a stick in the tub so it would crawl up right outside. I didn't want to touch it because I know how spiders are. They're tricky animals. I'll put the bathroom to go shoo it out and it'll jump at me or crawl up the thing
Yeah,
so
the
fast.
jumping
I
of
ain't
it
messing
all.
with it. So my mom just went in there and toweled it like it was a big bird. She just threw a towel on it and then grabbed it and then shook the towel outside the window. I was just like it was
That's awesome.
country as fuck, but like we've probably texted her 10 times since yesterday being like, "You saved our life."
Y'all, did you guys know?
Shout out to Chaney's mom.
I just found out today that Tom Hanks, since you played his video, I wanted to save it. Tom Hanks has a fucking daughter, and apparently she's spilling beans about her father and what violence she endured with her father.
I thought it was her mom.
This is on TikTok today. And I did not know he had a daughter. And apparently she's trying to spill the beans about her childhood and what she experienced and the violence she experienced as a child with her dad. That's all I know. I don't know if it's true or not, but this is like what I heard. I'm like, oh my God, he has a daughter? I thought he only had a son.
Tom Hanks' daughter, E.A. Hanks, says her childhood was filled with violence, blah, blah, blah. And late ex-wife Susan Dillingham's daughter, E.A. Hanks, alleges she suffered emotional and physical violence from her mother in her new memoir, The 10.
Oh, from her mother. Not the father. Maybe that's a lie. That's a cover up. Bullshit.
It's the start. Want to buy the new Samantha.
She's about to turn into a photo of a glove if she's not careful.
That's not funny, but awesome.
Yeah, people are talking about Val Kilmer. We talk about Val Kilmer, and I
Mad
kind of
Mardigan.
feel like we accidentally killed him.
Oops.
Oops. Right, Chaney? How many times did we bring him up on the show?
You know what? So much Val Kilmer, but this is what else but I don't know if I've said this a lot on the show before, but I'm like, do you think Val Kilmer was playing Joe Biden?
That's a good possibility.
I was just like, old man Val Kilmer to me looks a little Biden-esque.
Masks are possible.
And the Saint.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would have turned the role down. He would have been like, I got enough money. I don't want that role.
I don't know, but I don't care. Hey, Hollywood, all you want. I fucking love Val Kilmer. I don't know what it is. I've always loved him as a character. He never gave the rapey vibes to me.
No, he was hot, especially for a blonde guy. But then the whole, like, I loved him in Willow. Like, that was when I, like, fell in love with him.
And the
Because
what?
he's Mad Mardigan. Willow.
Have you guys ever seen the movie The Saint?
I love,
I
many
feel like
times.
I have.
Okay.
I don't remember it.
So I think it reminds me of the movie The Saint, and this picture of Val Kilmer and Madonna and JFK Jr. and DJT.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like, in that kind of way of like, or Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 8 or something like that, where it's like, what are they like all paying attention together, but like paying attention, but not.
Yeah.
And even it's just funny because of the character he plays in The Saint, how they do this exact kind of setup.
It's like the awareness
Yeah.
is there. You can see it, obviously. They're
I know. And
obviously
even like,
focused. That's something.
is that a picture of Bobby Brown? Like,
Is this from a
Oh,
movie
no.
or is this a candid photo of like?
Candid.
Huh.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's real. Or maybe it's just AI and we didn't know about AI back then.
Yeah, I know. They've had everything for 50 years, but yeah, it's so interesting. Val Kilmer.
That's real.
Val Kilmer makes me think of Batman. And I think that makes me think of Matt Perry again. Because you remember all the Batman stuff when he died. It
And
was
he had throat cancer or something like that?
No,
yeah.
oh, Matt Perry did. Who was the one
No,
that
Val Kilmer.
overdosed in a hot tub?
That was Matt Perry. But Val Kilmer. And then what else was the weird? Oh yeah, Pure Genius, where it's pretty much the Tesla death ray. It's like the thing that everybody talks about with Bluebeam and what melted the Twin Towers, or when people get on those kind of conspiracies. This is pure genius. This is what the entire movie is about, and he plays the character that kind of invents, or is it real genius, not pure genius? He plays the character that invents the laser. I want to play a video and get in trouble. That's why I saw somebody mention it. They're like, hey, the video got pulled down last week. And it was because usually when we play stuff, I can just either mute it if it's music, or if we play some clip from like, I don't know, usually it'll just be like, you can play the clip, you can't monetize. And I'm like, I don't know, okay, cool, schmoll, like whatever, we'll just play it anyway. But with Apple, with the commercial on X that I played from Donut, they took the channel all the way down and gave me all X's and made me delete all the segments that we pulled up that video, even if it was silent.
Oh, the Pedro Pascal one?
Yeah. So anywhere we pulled up the commercial with Donut and chatted about it a little bit, it made me cut out that to put the video back up. So you can't find it again everywhere, but we got in trouble. So
for playing a commercial.
For playing, and I actually thought this one should be fine because it's a commercial, and I muted it so we wouldn't get in trouble for the song. But I'm like, they want us to play a commercial.
I think it's like, don't you dare make fun of this guy. He's going to run for president soon.
That is probably it.
Rest in peace, man.
Oh,
if you're really dead.
That picture legitimately looked AI.
Or did you go to Hollywood Island?
The Ghost in the Darkness.
Where you live forever.
That is a great Val
Oh yeah,
movie.
that was the Poacher movie, right?
Well, no, it's the story of, I think they're building a railway across India, and never before in history had they ever recorded two male lions hunting together before until this. But these lions started to like methodically take these people out that they were building the railway, and people thought it was a curse. And so they called these lions the Ghost in the Darkness. And they were killing all these people until a period of time. And he plays the character, I think, to go hunt and kind of like save this big railway. It's Africa or India. I can't remember.
I think I'm kind of rooting for the lions in this story.
Yeah, you kind of are.
Sorry, lions. you had your heyday.
Everybody should go see Real Genius now, though. I think it's kind of mind blowing.
So good.
Didn't you play in some like cowboy kind of film?
Yeah, he was
Doc Holliday, right?
God, dude, Doc Holliday, right? And
yeah.
Isn't that like supposed to be a really good movie that he played in, a good role?
Oh, if you've never seen that one, is that Tombstone or was it Wyatt Earp? Okay, Tombstone.
Tombstone. He's in that. Is it Kurt Russell in him, or is that Wyatt Earp?
I need to watch this again. God, nostalgic as fuck.
What else? All right, The Doors, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. What are his like major ones? Top Gun, right?
The Doors. That was a great.
Yeah, Jim Morrison.
And the gayest scene of all time when he does this to Tom Cruise. That is so
Wait,
embarrassing.
what does he do?
He goes like this. But Tom Cruise like does a put down to him or something in the locker room, and he goes like this.
Well, have
Oh
you ever?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember now.
There's a Quentin Tarantino rant about this in
So
some
gay.
small
It made
movie,
me cringe doing that.
but he represented the urge to turn Tom Hanks gay. That was his whole thing, I believe, was he was supposed to be turning Tom Hanks gay, and the whole premise of Top Gun is Tom Hanks struggling with his sexuality, and then he eventually gives in to like the heterosexual way, at least in the terms of that movie, because he falls for the girl at the
I
end.
see that. I can see that.
I
Take my
might have
breath away.
I might have told you guys this already. I feel like I did. We've talked about it with Val Kilmer before, but I was walking down Melrose one day and like tripped on a curb, and he just kind of fucking did not give a shit. He was not a gentleman.
Tom
Really?
Cruise?
No, Val Kilmer. Like
Oh.
he
Oh,
didn't give a
God.
shit. Like I fell like in a way that another human would be like, "Oh, are you okay?" Yeah, but he just looked back for 1 second and then just kept walking.
Fuckhead. Rest in peace, though.
He was just like, it builds character.
Yeah, he was just like, "It's fine. You'll be fine."
What else? What else is happening? I've been out of the loop.
Yeah, I was gonna let me see if I even have something. I think this is so weird that this asteroid that they were talking about coming
now
by.
the moon's moon.
Yeah, now the moon is gonna probably
In the
get hit.
direct path.
Wait, isn't there a whole story about like the moon having its own little moon that orbits it?
Well, this real quick, I thought it was interesting because didn't we hear that they shot like a missile or something at this before, like a rocket, and when they hit the moon,
Yeah.
it rang like a bell for hours.
Yes.
So I was just like intrigued at the idea of a comet coming, or all the people that, you know, kind of like dark star the moon. It's just like, oh, what is this thing coming for the chance of hitting the moon?
I don't think it is. You know how many times they said, "Oh, this thing is coming and this thing is coming."
I don't know. I'm like,
Right.
how come we've never seen something hit the moon yet?
Because it won't. Because it's not like, what the fuck is the moon? First thing. Once we figure out what the
It's a
moon
spaceship.
actually, then we could figure that out, because those craters do not look like they were hit by fast incoming things. They
Well,
just
they're
look
all
like,
exactly the same depth, so that's
yeah.
what's
Oh
weird
my
about
gosh,
it.
you guys, I'm gonna shit my pants. Look
What?
at this. It is now reported though, the likelihood of moon impact on the 22nd of December 2032. Like, tell me the entirety of just knowing that date and being like, oh, you guys,
The
look,
exact day.
it might hit on the 22nd of December 1932, has more than doubled from 1.7 to 3.8. So, and this is just
A
information.
3.8% chance to hit in 7 years from now.
The 17, and then guess what? The 30, the crazy
30.
38. But December 22nd is just so weird. And then 2032, it's like, I don't know. Are they going to do something and be like, we are going to name this comet Jesus?
It's strange, all these stories with the moon. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I just mentioned it before. But apparently, they said that this asteroid that was supposed to hit the Earth is actually not an asteroid, but it's the moon's moon, and it's this tiny little rock that's supposedly floating around the moon. I don't know if this is real news or not. This is like another story that's been floating around the internet.
Well, space is fake, so we know it's not real.
The moon has its own little moon. That
I've heard this, but it was like a official story. It's just regular space debris, just like a little asteroid or something that gets caught in the orbit of the moon and then becomes a satellite to the moon for a small amount of time, and then it breaks off. And then there's a chance that when it breaks off, it could hit the Earth. But I think it wasn't even that big. It was like the size of a minivan or
Do you
something.
guys
Yeah,
want to
like
see
a
a real
school
picture
bus.
of the asteroid? I don't know if it's a real picture, but I'm surprised this will be as good as the real picture when they decide that it's gonna come out, but no, this is not a real picture of it. But the mini moon captures imaginations but reveals little.
There's
What
a
do you-
video apparently of it. Like, oh look, this is the fucking moon's moon. I'm like, oh my, it's probably AI.
I have just a couple weird questions, and this is my Lego brain, and so space people can explain it to me. What air breaks this, or water breaks this down to give it this look, or ants? Like what makes this porous activity happen in space?
Getting hit by
Well,
other stuff.
But is it like knock holes all the way through it?
it's all particles of the exploded planet Maldek. So that would be it.
Oh man. This is just all human imagination just being created so we can like fucking all go crazy.
Fairy tales.
Earth has temporarily pulled in another satellite, an orbiting asteroid that will be a mini moon for the next 2 months. It's cool because it gives us better understanding of near Earth asteroids, a better understanding of our detection techniques, and being able to predict when they are going to come close to Earth. Maybe about
Like-
30 feet across. It's 32.2 feet across. No, I'm just kidding.
Sure. And we're gonna definitely
33
colonize
point-
Mars, guys. Definitely in our lifetime. Just wait for it. Wait for it.
It is so funny. I don't know.
It's not happening.
Mars is just another mod pack. Like, you
Mars is somewhere on the extra terra.
well, I think you just get like plugged into
Where's
your
Iceland?
little microchip in your brain, and then you're like, oh, we're going to Mars, just like on Total Recall.
Isn't Mars Iceland?
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's where they like recorded the whole robot Mars mission.
Oh, yeah. Well, like Nevada
Iceland.
is the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever hear about the government's plan to detonate a nuke on the moon?
Do it.
Yes.
I want to see you do it. I want
It
to
was,
see you
it was
try.
in like the late 50s.
This is when the moon rang like a bell.
Okay, well, this was what was it? Project A119 or 119A or something.
Mm.
And the official story was that they wanted to do it as a show of force so that even like everyone on the planet would be able to see this big flash on the moon, and the US could be like, yeah, Russia, don't mess with us. We'll do it again. What? And that was supposed to be the whole premise of it, although I'm sure it went way deeper than that.
Mm.
They're trying to kill the gray aliens that live inside the moon spacecraft because it's a space
Was that
station.
a movie from like a Chinese studio called Moon? Or what
I
was
don't
the
know,
name
but
of
I
that
know
one?
that that's an actual theory too, though.
Greenland.
But
Thank
China
you.
had like a weird, like it was like a China-US joint venture movie that like the two state departments worked on together, and it was about the moon being this hollow, like man-made created thing or alien created thing that was completely hollow, and it was all full of tech. Like it was a huge
What?
spaceship essentially.
Well, have you seen any of the hollow moon theory? It's pretty interesting, actually. But it goes into like how the craters are all exactly the same depth. I don't know. There's a lot to it. I mean, I don't. That's the part that I remember that's is standing out to me right now. But there was a lot to it, and I was
It's
like,
like
But
you know what the moon
a lot of
kind
the
of-
ascension people say that it's like an alien spacecraft.
What if it's like an oblate, flat plate kind of, but like curved, and it just like I don't know how to explain it. And to us, it looks like it's curved like a ball, but our perception can't see it in the other shape. So what if it's just like a flat disc?
I still say we nuke it,
Let's do it.
No,
whatever shape it is.
Okay, so I
think
asked
there's something
Grok.
important with the moon that we're not aware of, and they want us scared of it and saying, "Oh, it's a soul eater." But what if it's not?
The event you're referring to when the moon rang like a bell happened during the Apollo 12 mission on November 20th, 1969, after astronauts Pete Conrad and Alan Bean returned to their command post. NASA intentionally crashed the ascent stage of their lunar module into the moon's surface. The impact occurred about 40 miles from the Apollo 12 landing site in the ocean of storms. The crash generated a shockwave equivalent to 1 ton of TNT, and seismic instruments left on the moon by the crew recorded vibrations that lasted nearly an hour. Far longer than expected. Scientists describe this prolonged vibration as the moon ringing like a bell, a phase that captured how the dry, rigid lunar structure allowed seismic waves to bounce around with little dampening, unlike Earth with water and softer materials. This wasn't a one-off either. A similar thing happened with Apollo 13 on April 14th, 1970, when its SIVB rocket stage was crashed into the moon about 45 miles from Apollo's 12's seismometers. That impact was a force of over 11 tons of TNT, causing even stronger vibrations, peaking after 7 minutes and lasting a while too. These were experiments part of NASA. Okay, look at 7 minutes and lasting a while too. So then I was like, how long?
Yeah.
So then I think it's so funny, 7 minutes and they stop. But then this one, when the Apollo 12 happened, blah, 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 50 minutes to an hour. The exact duration varies slightly depending on how you define quote unquote ringing, whether it's peak detectable signal or the point where it fully faded below the seismometer sensitivities. NASA records show the moon seismometers picked up oscillations that continue for roughly 50 minutes, with the signal gradually weakening but still measurable for the time. For Apollo 13 impact on the 14th in 1970, the vibrations were even more intense due to the larger mass, those seismic waves, blah, 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 blah. Some sources say up to 2 hours before fading out completely. So why is Grok lying and then trying to fix its lie? Just be
7 minutes,
7
50 minutes,
Yeah.
7 minutes
Wow.
and more.
Hours.
Or what
7
did it say?
minutes. Weak ass game right there.
Yeah, they were like lying
7
about it.
minutes.
So
What is that?
it does give a
It's-
lot of credence.
It's a little bit wild too to think because the moon is somehow described as a dead planet, right? It's lost its core, and then it lost its atmosphere, and then it just gets bombarded until it gets completely evaporated. It's just this dead planet that has nothing going on. And if you go with, I think his name's James Lovelock, that wrote the Gaia Earth theory, where he describes that the Earth is this super organism, and that trees are kind of its lungs, and that like the magma core is kind of like a heart. Like he kind of goes into all this different detail, but it also sort of has this premise that the moon is just a dead planet, which means that Earth, like imagine if you died, or like someone close to you died, and they just start spinning around you everywhere you go for the rest of your life.
I just love the fact that they've never
Haunted.
dug deep enough to find out if there is a core in any of these things where they claim there's a core. And I think which planet they said there's like a diamond core. Like, how do you know? Oh, we measured it with this and this
Satellite
tool.
imaging?
I
You
don't
crash a
believe
freaking
it.
Apollo mission right into it. That's how you
I
know.
don't believe that shit, bro. Oh, magma core? Yeah, we should fucking evaporate off this planet. Think about it. If you're like, there's this hot magma core, the whole planet in magma, covered deep in magma, we should fucking die. Like, I don't believe it. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie.
I think it's more like a hot pocket. Like you can put a hot pocket in the microwave, and the outside will
I
be
don't know
cool,
about-
but you bite into it and it'll burn
The
your mouth.
waters, why are they fucking
It'll
cold?
explode out the sides sometimes.
Shouldn't the waters be hot? But no, the deeper you go, the colder they get. It just don't make sense.
It's kind of crazy too. Like the deeper you go, the colder it gets, but then salt doesn't fucking freeze. So it gets like levels that organisms, like it's not just about dark. There's things that can live in the cold, like the ocean itself. It might as well be an entirely another planet.
Where do icebergs come from?
Fresh water,
So how are they in the middle of the ocean?
frozen.
But how do they form that way? I don't.
Rain and snow.
Wow, Chaney, good answer.
Yeah, but like I still don't understand how in the middle
The
of
first,
nowhere.
how did the first thing get? It was probably like wood in a skeleton.
Or probably a piece of matter that just
And
layered
then
and layered
snow
and layered
got
and layered
there.
and layered
Yeah.
for thousands of years, and we're just like, oh, look, an iceberg in the middle
Yeah,
of
it's
the sea.
probably a ship inside, a ghost ship.
So strange.
It is weird. That's why I'm always like I don't know, icebergs and then how big they are underneath is a whole wild. I was hoping that I could find a map of what the Baron Trump underground. I was hoping a super fan had gone and taken Marvelous Underground Journey, and they had made a map of how they saw the world.
They
Like
need to
that's what I was
make a
looking for.
movie. That's what they need to do, just like Harry Potter and those 2 books. Just make 2 fucking movies, bro, and create the image of how you want to see that fucking book created.
All
Like
right, what
when I
about
read
this?
it, I had a whole image in my head because I
I
could see
really
things.
think we could do this. Like we could make the movie.
I think we can.
Like now that I know AI, I just need the right project, the right kind of weird project, and this is it because each one of the lands could be its whole own vibe, and so I really think this is
It
possible.
could become magical. That's how great that book was for me, at least. Like it created a whole play in my head reading
Oh
it.
my gosh, we could speed it up too to make it more like hitty instead of how long sometimes you know how quick we
And
can make these people
dramatic.
talk?
And
Yeah.
emotionally like, wow, this is magic. They
And
can
seeing people
see
with like the clear skin and seeing people with like we could design all this. This
the
would be
blind
like
people
totally
in the
doable.
Silver City, and then the fucking retards that live in the bottom of the realm where they're cracking their skulls like idiots. The one,
Yeah.
the forgetful ones, I think they were
Yeah.
called.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you got the time now, it's 100% within the realm of possibility to make all that yourself. I mean, the 3 episodes of Mind Games that I've done so far, maybe 4, I can't remember, but those were each 20 minutes apiece. So 3 of those, that's already an hour. Most movie runtimes are like 109 to 132 minutes or so.
This could
Didn't
be
the guy who created Flow, he made it out of AI, the cat movie that's like everyone's talking about, and he made it just basic, like on his computer, and now it's up for awards. Like imagine making a movie. I know Chaney can fucking do it. She's so
No, but I
talented with
feel
this.
like I would definitely I would be like, "All right, Thomas, I think I
I
could
know.
maybe could get other people
Oh
to
god.
lean in on this too." But here would be the thing to our audience is like not the grift of it because of the amount of time and money that it takes to do this. Like where I'm just over pretending things are like everything's freebie GB because Jules doesn't let me throw in any more money into my hobby. Like
You're bad.
I am
Well, here,
capped out.
but see,
So
there's a different way that you could crowdfund something like that, where instead of asking people for money, you ask them for scenes. You say, here's how to make the video, here's the service to use, here's how much it costs. Now go and make us, a 5-minute clip. And if enough people, if 30 people go and make a 5-minute clip, now we've got 2 hours of footage that we could sort through.
well, and I was also just thinking too, like if because I mean, honestly, Layla and Abbie would both learn how to do stuff, and because you need stills for stuff, you need action for stuff. It's not all just AI
Right.
video. It's like the amount of stuff you need to actually have you almost need like 8 hours to make an hour and a half. It's like such a weird cutting room floor. But I do think we would be able to do it legit and be able to put it online, maybe behind a paywall that was cheap enough that it was like $3 to get. And it
Mhm.
was just like we were allowing the massive amount of people to see it where it wasn't like, you don't have to steal this. This is really so we can just cover our nut here. But I
Yeah,
really
and we
think
could
this is a
use
really good idea.
President Trump's name, like face in it, and use Barron Trump's face in it just for the fuck of it,
Oh
because
my
people,
God, I didn't even think about that.
yeah, and like the last president, even though it doesn't mention it, but how people tie it, like you could even make a movie
If
on
we
that.
get one done, and it all goes well, then obviously we'll do the last president
I
next.
would
Mhm.
recommend that you would start with the trailer for the thing, because that's another, like, since it's all AI, you
Yeah.
don't actually have to go out to these locations and get the people. So you would just make the 30 to 90-second trailer for it, and then if that goes well, then you can make a 90 to 30 to 90-second trailer for Last President, And then if those do well enough, then you can maybe talk about making the real thing.
I love this idea.
I think it could be really fun.
Mhm.
Like,
I mean, a 90-second clip is way more doable, right? Like that's a small chunk to
let me
bite
see if
off
I
of.
have anything in here that I've been.
Yeah, that's
Oh my god,
Project-
I'm picturing
Project
in my
Confirmed.
head how dope it's gonna look.
does like the Carlos Castaneda stuff like that, and like they just do it in small segments, but it's freaking awesome.
Like how it'll be like Harry Potter style, but not like Harry Potter. It's just gonna be so fucking. Oh my god, this is gonna be blockbuster.
Harry
hit.
Potter, but with like way more gold.
Yeah, like I love it. I love this idea. Okay, we're copywriting it. We're saying it here. It is our project. Shut the fuck up. Go eat a dick. All
I
right.
declare bankruptcy.
All right, motherfuckers.
Well,
on
it's kind of
record,
fun
and
because
if
it's
you
old
do
enough.
it, we're suing.
It's old enough for us to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Well, us just putting it out there, then
Big.
it'll get done and I'll watch it. But I just think in the same way as like, what's that? We Burn Goats, or what was that freaking movie
Men
that
who
ever?
stare at ghosts.
Mainly Sarah
No, the one that burnt down the cathedral and everyone's like, this movie is so whatever. I Pet Goat. That thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, here, this is just little, and this is just something that it will be on the cutting room floor and be like 3 seconds long when it's done. And this took me way more time than I want to tell you guys how long, but I'm just so impressed how good AI is, you guys. And so it's like 45 seconds. I'm going to show you this real quick. And I wish I had sound in it and everything because we might be silent in it. So chat, just buck up.
Is this new?
I love AI now.
Yeah, it's just something I've been fucking around with for another project for OG Gina. Shout out to OG Gina. Okay, so let's see.
All because of TARS.
I forgot it did this to me earlier. I have to do it this way. Sorry, Abbie. Oh, you're allowed to hit your vape. You're like, oh shit. And I was like, Abbie's back. She's allowed to have her vape.
It's all right.
She's like, "Hit the crack pipe."
Yeah. I thought I was in trouble and I was like, oh shit. I just said, this will be 45 seconds, you guys. We'll be right back. And then we were back in 1 second. Layla has her tits out partying. Oh shit. Hold on, I have to pull it up in another way. Where is that motherfucking line?
I mean, maybe for the next one we can mess around for 20-30 minutes and just generate some scenes from the Barron Trump book.
I think it could be like a really good idea, and maybe it's something that even on Sunday, maybe even for the show with the audience, it might be boring. We can just talk shit while we're also doing it, but it might be like a really fun thing to do part of it with everyone. If you guys want to hang out and do
It'll
that
be
kind
so
of thing.
cool. Like I picture
fun.
it. A scene, like a snapshot of him at the well, and then him sliding down that tunnel that we fucking cracked about. What we were cracking up
God.
about.
Remember that
Okay.
episode when Layla was talking about it and she's like getting lubed and going down into the hole, and it was just like, oh my god, I was just dying. I was like, she's doing this on purpose. And she wasn't.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, we can talk while it's on.
So dope.
And this one's like edited in a way, like I had it all like AI. Eventually, it just takes time of feeding it, but it'll give you one whole smooth cut. But this one's just cut for music. But I just can't believe what's possible. Dude, I made one of her jump off this thing. Because that's the other thing too. Certain spots in the video, you'll get to like points that you can go off into whatever direction you want to create next. And like a lot of it's on what you feed like Sling AI, but you have to feed it certain images and then with different prompts and everything like that I was playing with. But I was like, I want her to swan dive off this building because I wanted her to swan dive, but then a UFO pick her up. So I wanted to see, but AI doesn't know what I'm going to ask for next. And it gets real sensitive with certain things that it wants to do. So it felt like I was trying to unalive OMGina. And I wasn't at all, but so it kept telling me, I'm not allowed to give you that graphic. And I was like, what the hell? And so I was like, swan dive off this. I put the word swan dive in. It made her matrix jump off, like where she pulls up her bottom legs and like, bing, she looks like like some of the like uptakes are so silly that I'm like, oh my gosh. And this is where I also feel like there's a little more freedom in it, but some of the characters will make it look enough like Baron Trump, but not just like Baron Trump. And then it's even easier to get the AI to give you what you want. You almost want to be in the uncanny valley that it looks like 10 people that you know.
Yeah.
It's like such an
I love it.
interesting.
Well, see, that's where we can take you guys to the next level, because you can take those bumpers off and you can have certain services that you're like, all I want to do is generate pictures of Baron Trump, and it'll just get his likeness exactly how you want it every single time. And then you can take those images and bring them into some video service. And as long as you're not telling it who you're talking about, you're just like, make this random person do this action. And as long as you don't ever mention the name Trump, it'll actually play along the entire time. The second you let the AI know that it's a popular character, they're like, like they'll stop the whole thing right then.
That is so true. You got to play vague with it. I'm trying to find, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this because I'm sure it's like, you're not allowed to do that now. I wonder where is it? I thought I put it up here. Is it in my reels? No. Posts. I thought I put up a video. Oh, I know what it is. Sorry, I'm in the whole wrong account. I was like, I thought I put up an AI video recently and it was so good, but I'll probably get in trouble for playing it, but we're going to play it anyway. Let me pause this and blow it up. And this song is kind of fire. Okay.
If you talking shit, you gon' get a bitch slap. Yeah, like a mean bitch, not in the scene, bitch. Type of bitch, I don't know about shit. I'ma pull up all black in a new whip, tryna get rich. I'ma have to hit a lick, yo. Bro, think he in a murder case. Yeah, broke nigga, fuck nigga. I'm a grain digger, cut a nigga off with the switchblades. Nigga talking shit because he bitch made. Diamonds on my neck and it's lemonade. You can see it through the window. Escalade, cause I'm tryna get paid. Niggas tryna take my money, no way. I'm a real nigga, I'ma fuck a bitch real quick in my slippers. Bitches on my dick, they gon' dance on my lap. And if you talking shit, you gon' get a bitch.
I feel like my favorite part is when it gets the lady breakdown.
I'ma pull up all black in a new whip, tryna get rich. I'ma have to hit a lick, yo. Bro, think he in a murder case. Yeah, broke nigga, fuck nigga. I'm a grain digger, cut a nigga off with the switchblades. Nigga talking shit because he bitch made. Diamonds on my neck and it's lemonade. You can see it through the window. Escalade, cause I'm tryna get paid. Niggas tryna take my money, no way. I'm a real nigga, I'ma fuck a bitch real quick in my slippers. Bitches on my dick, they gon' dance on my lap. And if you talking shit, you gon' get a bitch slap. Yeah, I like a mean bitch, not in the scene, bitch. Type of bitch, I don't know about shit. I'ma pull up all black in a new whip, tryna get rich. I'ma have to hit a lick, yo.
Damn, he gon' drive me crazy if I let him. She thinks she lit, but bitches still ain't on my level. Every time he hit a lick, I push the gas up on the pedal. Let him hit it, now that nigga feelin' special. Cause I got a small waist, pretty face with a big bang. Look how you hating on a bitch and you my mama age. I'm doing great, I'm getting paid, so why would I complain? I get my net and then I'm gone, I ain't got time to hang.
I'm a real nigga, I'ma fuck a bitch real quick in my slippers. Bitches on my dick, they gon' dance on my lap. And if you talking shit, you gon' get a bitch slap. Yeah, I like a mean bitch, not in the scene, bitch. Type of bitch, I don't know about shit. I'ma pull up all black in a new whip, tryna get rich. I'ma have to hit a lick, yo.
Justin Trudeau was funny.
I remember when those guys were
Blonde.
just making like fruit punch commercials with AI like 3 years ago.
It's just wild how great AI or how they allowed AI to be allowed to progress to this level, because I know it could be like super AI. They're not going to show us that yet, but it made me question everything that they ever showed us on TV when I saw that video.
This is even crazier is that recently someone showed that you can take some of these AI models and run them on a Windows machine from the early 2000s and get the same results. You probably wouldn't have been able to train the models themselves back then, but you can run the models on this old antiquated hardware. I mean, you can run versions of like ChatGPT on something about the same power as like your calculator.
That's where it's so crazy, where they're like, oh, all the technology to get to the moon and we destroyed it. And then they're like, we hear over and over again, like, you have 10 times the amount of technology in your iPhone.
What if that's the thing, that the whole central casting thing? What if they're not even just actors? It's all AI. It's all fake. It's just a fucking movie.
That's
Talking
what
about
I
making
get
a
on
movie.
with the wag the dog a little bit sometimes. I'm like, how do we even know where they're like, oh, these things or these people, or like, how do we know? Like in the uncanny valley, which also freaks me out that humans even have an uncanny valley. It means somewhere in our brain, in our past, we have been around things that weren't quite human like, and we had to be nervous by it because we get creeped out naturally by that thing that almost looks human.
Mm.
And so I just feel like it's proof we were around something that didn't quite look like us.
Well, so much of our brain power when we're waking life is dedicated to breaking down differences in people's faces. Like so much of our attention goes into finding all these weird, like very specific minutia, because from like an outside perspective, humans all kind of look the same, and they only kind of vary in very small ways. So that's an interesting idea, though, is that maybe that's because there's something that's so threatening to us that might appear somewhat human that we have to become experts at identifying things that are human versus not human.
Mhm.
Like it's the same thing. Like if you're a human being and you're walking and a shadow of like a kite goes over your head, you'll instinctively duck. Like you watch anyone who walks up to a helicopter. Obviously, helicopters are built tall enough so most people can walk under them, but it doesn't matter. As you watch people walk up to a helicopter, they're crouched down and they'll like get taller as they get closer to the door. But the blades aren't lower necessarily. It's just like enough people have lost their heads by that. So it's just like snakes instinctively were like, oh, or spiders, oh, because enough of us in history have died from that thing. So it's just like most of the things that creep us out, we have an innate fear of that thing because it's killed enough of us. So the uncanny valley is a weird one. Like that cat is not really a human. It's a cat.
Or
That's
a familiar.
dolphin. Like that is a
See,
raccoon.
that was true.
Huh?
Or
Yeah.
a familiar.
It's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Donut has a new AI video out, doesn't
It
he?
was dope. Yeah.
He does, yeah. It looks awesome.
Can we play that? Donut, you
Yeah,
want to
let's
pull
play
us
that.
down?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
yeah,
go.
Donut.
This is the new
Please don't take
MTV.
us down, Donut.
Donut, please. We'll share all these profits with you. These mad profits. Okay. Let me pause this. Pink. And then turn the sound on here. Okay.
Unlock the seed crush hidden in the dark. Symbols on the wall, rights about to spark. We dogs vision, playing every part. Unlock the seed crust, gotta leave your mark. Unlock the seed crust, hidden in the flame. Steps to enlightenment, never be the same. Oaths in the circle, shadow in the name. Unlock the seed crust, it's more than a game. Unlock the seed crust.
Oh, the cat. I love the cat. What was the cat's name again? I forgot.
Chan.
Oh yeah, Chan. Oh my god.
Unlock the
My brain.
secrets.
AI Chan was on there.
What about, this is my other $1 million idea I'm having in the moment, but since we're in a brainstorming session, just hanging out with like 150 folks from whatever platforms you're watching us on, thank you. Make sure you hit the bell or the thumbs up or whatever. It helps us in the algorithm. Even if you sit there and press that little heart on your phone next to YouTube, that even helps, apparently. So the other idea that I have is we actually start a music channel on YouTube where we play people's AI videos, and then people can call and request them, and maybe we'll build like a whole new thing.
Type of channel. Yeah.
Because I would watch and dissect people's videos and the sound that of their artist. Like we could actually critique them. Like it comes on, we play it, and then we say what we like and don't like about it. We can turn it down a little bit and be like Mystery Science Theater. What
Yeah.
videos used to be. Anyways, that's just an
You're
idea.
kind of describing Beavis
They're
and
not all
Butthead a
winners.
little bit.
They're not all winners.
Isn't that what the Beavis and Butthead formula was, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, kind of exactly that. Except we'll just do it with their AI videos, and some things will be bangers. And then and our audience can say if they like it or not, and it'll go to like a win column, so it plays again next week. And if it goes to a lose column, we never hear from it again, and the artist has to try again.
And I'll do the great cornholio sometimes.
Y'all, do you know the Powerpuff Girls were not supposed to be the Powerpuff Girls? And that they're it was the Whip It Girls or Whip Ass Girls or something, and it's something about like them taking Whip It cans and like I don't know, this is the actual artist. It's like this whole thing. I was like, it wasn't fucking Powerpuff Girls. Like they wouldn't allow like Whip Ass Girls to be a
I
cartoon.
kind of
So
like
they
that when they
changed.
just take a big hit of nitrous and become crime fighters.
I'm telling you, so weird. Sugar and spice and everything nice, and a can of something I forgot. But I saw this whole clip about like how Powerpuff Girls were born. I was like, oh my god, okay, this is cool. The little tidbits of nostalgic cartoons.
Huh.
Do you know
There's-
how Rick and Morty started?
Mm-mm.
You know Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was about it gets crazy. The original Rick and Morty pilot, it's all about Back to the Future with Doc and Michael J. Fox, and that's who Morty and Rick are. Rick is the Doc, and Morty.
Oh my
is
gosh, he
Mr.
totally is.
Marty. Morty
Yeah.
is Marty, right?
I always saw
But-
that. Yeah.
But the whole premise of it was that he was being sexually assaulted by Rick constantly. That Morty was like this victim to his creepy uncle. And obviously, when it became mainstream, they dropped that part of it. But that was the whole joke. The entire joke of the original Rick and Morty was that it was Back to the Future, but Marty was getting basically
pickle.
molested by Doc.
I
Like
get it.
the Pickle Rick episode. Like
Pickle
that.
Rick.
I just watched that the other
Pickle
day. I was like,
Dick.
Pickle Rick. Yeah. Like,
I see
fuck?
what you did there, you pervert. God, it's crazy. Huh. But I love Rick and Morty though. It's a great show.
I think the origin to a lot of cartoons are kind of similar to that. They all start out from like a really crazy place, and then they just have to get toned down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. So none of these cartoons are really for kids. They're all made for adults. But okay.
That's
Have you guys seen the YOLO? I forgot the whole name of it. It's like YOLO Crystal Power or something. It's an Australian cartoon that plays
Or
the
nor. Or nor.
Uh-uh.
Clear.
Australian
You
Chris.
just do YOLO cartoon.
Oh, YOLO cartoon.
It reminds me of kind of liquid television of the 90s a little bit, like the head If you remember the head, the big alien that lived in Jim's head and it like would like crack open and the alien would come out and like
Oh
kick
my gosh,
your
I'm
ass.
in. I am so into this.
You would love this. Yeah, Yellow Crystal Fantasy. That's it.
No, I don't think I've seen it. I think my sister's seen it and she told me to watch it. I haven't seen it.
This is I think it's a really good show, like since we're talking about cartoons. Tuca and Birdie. Have you guys ever seen
I'm not
this?
sure. Is it a kid thing or
No, it's like an adult cartoon. I mean, it's not an adult cartoon. It's I'm gonna pull up an image of it. It's like I wonder. No, I'm not playing the trailer. Good try. I used to think that would be allowed. Like a trailer, we're advertising it.
Yeah, they're a free advertisement. What do you not want from that?
But I don't know if we're allowed to because I want to play. But this is Tuca and Birdie. And so Tiffany Haddish is one of the voices and Ali Wong is the other one.
Oh, this looks like BoJack Horseman a little bit.
It kind of is like a similar type thing. It's like, you know, all these birds, like see the cat and worms and blah, blah, blah. But it made me laugh. So if you guys are into that sort of, if you guys are into animated shows.
I used to collect those My Little Ponies when I was a kid.
Oh, me too. I had Buttercup. That was
I
my
had
favorite.
so many. I had a lot of toys as a kid now that I think about it.
Can I tell you a weird thing about My Little Ponies? I would judge a lot of girls because I felt like a lot of girls just had dirty ass little My Little Ponies. Like there was something about the skin of My Little Ponies that it just stained in like
It did.
All the dirt.
Yeah, like I just felt
Grubby
like
little kid hands.
yeah, like damn, you got a dirty ass. I don't want to play with your My Little
My
Pony.
favorite thing
I'm
about
good.
them were the shoes, like putting them on and taking them off because they were like rubber, like I don't know. I miss them.
They had like binded feet.
Yeah,
My
it was
Little
so
Ponies. So it was a little. We
Yeah,
had a lot
little
of pony
outfits.
horse stuff when we were
Horny,
coming up, like
horsey,
Rainbow Bright.
ride a horse.
Like there was a lot of, even like Shira. She had a horse.
Oh yeah, I had Shira's horse and her boyfriend Bo's horse too. I had all the Shira characters.
I think horses are like earth dolphins, no? But they
There
don't
is
want us to know.
something about horses that seem mystical and like seems like a weird connection. In the avatar of it all, how they have to connect in to their dragon to fly. It just made me think in a native way. If they say these like wind talkers or these natives that had long hair and they could find anything because they felt maybe vibrations or their senses were higher or whatever with their long hair, if they braided that hair to horse hair, like all of a sudden your horse going down, like horses are so big on trust that you're almost like, nope, I'm locked in with you. If you jump, I'm jumping. If you go, I go. Like there's no freedom of me just jumping off the saddle. Like I'm braided to you. And so there does seem like something with horse hair and humans and everything that it goes in, that there must be some mystical property or something.
Yeah. I think the most expensive mattress is made out of horsehair. It's like $500,000, I believe, and it's the most comfortable fucking thing to sleep on.
My sister gave
They
me
even do
like the
horse
set of
reiki.
bunk beds for my kids when I moved into her house in Oklahoma, and one of the mattresses, like I didn't even realize it. Like when I got my kids new beds and I moved the mattresses out and everything, and there was like a little hole in it. It was all stuffed with horsehair.
Yeah, and they're
I was
the
like,
best.
oh my gosh, how old is this fucking thing?
And I know there's like a thing of like horse reiki. That's a thing now, and like you see these horses, you know, with these patients, like so
equine therapy.
concentrated on like
Yeah.
certain parts of the body, and it's like so intentional too. And I'm just like, dude, what if these are like they're literally earth dolphins?
I grew up in northern Nevada, and you know Mustang are all over the place, and like we would like go park out in the desert and sit there and smoke weed, and we would like hang our hands out the window and feed the wild horses. They would come up to our car and we'd just sit there and feed them. It was
Oh,
awesome.
that's so awesome. Because you can even see like these videos that they show of like these horses in England, I guess the queens or kings' horses, the kingdom's horses,
Yeah.
and these special needs kids, like they'll just like show them this, I
Mm.
guess, love in their form, and like evil people or evil auras or bad auras or something about them, like they can read off of people and they'll just go and bite them. So I'm like, they probably feel something just as dolphins do. And I wonder if their
Well,
brains have something to
there's
do
a
with
story
it.
in the Bible where this guy's like on this path and he's supposed to like turn around or whatever, and his ass, you know, so which is not a horse, but I mean it's close enough, like keeps freaking like stopping and everything, and he's like whipping his ass, which is funny, and finally is able to talk. Is like, motherfucker, I'm trying to protect your ass. Like you don't see what I'm seeing. There's a freaking entity here. It's a Bible story,
Strange.
but it doesn't say the bad words.
Before I go into
I'm
it, and then
paraphrasing.
remind me because I might forget why I even have the screen up. But before I go into it, Abbie, tell everybody in the audience that doesn't know, or any of the people that do, what you're up to, like what you've been up to, and then what you have going on this weekend coming up. Not tomorrow, but next weekend.
Next weekend, I am competing in a bodybuilding competition. I'm like, so right now I'm starting peak week, and peak week is like, it's a huge accomplishment because you finally made it here. Like you've been dieting for 5 months and doing a fuck ton of cardio, and you're starving and you're tired and nothing feels great. You don't know if you look good enough. You're not sure if you're ready, but then you get to peak week and it's like, but it's shit. Like right now I'm drinking a gallon and a half of water. Like today I'll drink a gallon and a half of water. The next day, for the rest of the week, it's like two gallons of water a day. And like I'll be carb depleting, so I'll be like, I won't have any carbs. I don't have any fat for the next couple of days, and then I'll like carb up and like blow my whole body up. Like the whole purpose of like no carbs is to like flush out all your intracellular water as much as possible. So that way, when you carb up, like, because carbs, for every gram of carb that you eat, you have you store 3 grams of water. So the idea is you get rid of all the water, and then when you eat carbs again, and then you like drink a bunch of water, and your body will like, it'll go straight into the muscles and plump it all up. So I'll look jacked, but it's gonna be a rough week. So peak week's hard.
You got
And
this, girl. You look
seasoning
great.
on, and I have to eat fish for breakfast tomorrow.
Will we get images to share with the audience?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Of your
To
competition
get taken
and
down.
that get us taken down for nudity. And you're gonna have your pro card after this competition, or it's the next one?
The next
This
one.
one gets you into the next one. But
Yes.
you already, this one's in the bag. So
This
you'll
one's in the
bring us
bag.
your medal and show us that. But you might not be on next week because you do have to get up early the following week.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed early. I've got to make sure I get like 7 or 8 hours.
No
So,
excuses.
I
none.
know it's so weak sauce, but I just wanted to fill the audience in so you guys kind of know what's going on with Abbie. And then I'm getting the screen off, so I do want to go back to the horses real fast because I didn't know, so I just had to look it up. Horseshoes are considered lucky due to a combination of factors, including their crescent shape symbolizing the moon and the moon goddesses, the protective properties of iron, and the association with blacksmiths who were seen of having special powers.
Interesting.
Yeah, like metal workers seen of having special powers, and then putting your horseshoes on, like how in the way we kind of talk about like grounding out, and how none of us ground out as much as we used to because we're all wearing these rubber soles. Horseshoes would actually kind of make them very conductive on certain things, and maybe even more sensory prone to certain things.
Dude, yeah, think about the samurais with the horses and the fucking shoes and the sword combination, and then the top hat usually metal, so it's like I don't
And
know.
sometimes like I don't really get down with the theory that I think any of the knight's armor was because it was ever good in battle. I think it's because they're protecting themselves or spells in like a magic or, on a sorcery type battle. It just doesn't make any logical sense. But if you look at a lot of animals back in that time, I mean, they had elephant armor. They had, and I know there's spears and there's things and blah, blah, blah. But if you ever look at any movies, spears right through every bit of armor. It doesn't matter what it doesn't really matter what the armor is. Arrows right through the armor. It might take a sword or a blunt thing, but is it the juice worth the squeeze for carrying around 200 pounds of metal on your 300-mile hike? Doesn't seem likely. It's just like part of it is like ridiculous. And the idea that Joan of Arc would ever, a little 5-foot lady in armor and her sword, as if men would be like, bitch, unless she was magic, they would not listen to her. She was doing magic shit. And then she was burnt like a witch. She was burnt at the stake like all the witches were. So I even feel like it goes right with the lore of that thing. So anyway, yeah, horses, they seem, and female horse, what's it called?
A mare?
Yeah. And so if you were to spell it out, you're saying Mary.
Mary.
Yeah.
Huh.
Horses. And isn't it funny, like bitch, like to dog, we just learned about, like moon goddess is like Artemis, that witch, that bitch, like, because she used to hunt with a pack of dogs. So it's all attached in that way. So what else do they call ladies? Whores. And so that's always been horse. Like that.
Now all I can think about is how come there hasn't been a Mr. Ed revival?
Oh my gosh. Why don't we do it with a lady who's a whore? Like a nasty
Mrs. Ed.
Mrs. Like, yeah, like where she just has a personality like a drunk aunt. Well, that's kind of what Mr. Ed was. It was just for the time, but we could do like a horny lady. Oh my gosh, you could do Mr. Hands, a talking horse. That's so horrible. Don't look up that video, everyone. I never seen it, but my mental creation is worse than AI.
Our creative brains are working tonight.
Yeah, we're putting out $1 million ideas.
Oh, if we're just pitching ideas, I got another one for you guys.
Let's do it.
It's similar to something that I've been working on with Donut behind the scenes, but I would love a version for Lodge 1202 or Secret Society of Good Guys. And it's this thing that my girlfriend gets these things called the flower letters. One of her friends got it for her. And basically you get, I think, 2 envelopes a month, or like 1 envelope a month. And you open it up and it just has like 5 or 6 different letters in it. Sometimes it's a map, sometimes it's like a brochure. And you're basically following along this story over the course of, I think, 6 months to a year. And every single letter just kind of reveals a little bit more about that story. So there could be like a Lodge 1202 or a Secret Society of Good Guys where you get a little, black envelope with a little wax seal and everything. And inside of it, it just kind of has bits and pieces of rituals and bits and pieces of like things going on. It's not really a newsletter. It's more like a short story or a novel that you tell over the course of a bunch of different initiation scripts or lost scrolls and like little transcripts. And I don't know, there could be something fun to do like that for Secret Society of Good Guys.
Yeah,
I love
you could
it.
put like puzzles, like certain like connect the dot things, or like coloring pages to like go along with the theme, like make it interesting and interactive too.
What about like
A
in
big
a
card.
like yeah, like a little almost, remember when you were a little kid and there was the placemat at the restaurant and at like Denny's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a broken up section newsletter that's kind of like that, but also maybe that was interactive in a way that if you got some things right on that, it led you to a thing online that we could leave like treasures at, or they'd
Like a
find
coded
something so
thing.
they'd
Code ring on the Christmas story. Drink your Ovaltine.
I like that. I like a little like a placemat, like a monthly placemat or something.
Oh, I think it would be cool if you had to get a code ring or something
Wouldn't
that the people that
Checkerboard, of course.
Yeah, like it would be neat if you got it, or like a necklace that had a monocle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I'm into this. We
You
could
got to
plan
take a
something
hit of
really cool.
DMT to unlock the code.
Period.
No, it's what's it called?
Salvia.
Salvia?
Salvia. There you go.
Oh, you
You
got you're not, you
This
do
is
that right. You don't even know
Can
what
we really
paper
do that like next time?
this is our other thing we've been thinking about, you guys, just for the audience, that when we were talking about maybe filming it, is that we were all going to go somewhere. I don't know how Thomas is going to do it, because even the three of us, if Thomas wants to jump out a window, he can.
Mhm.
Like, we're not going to be able to stop him.
I don't even,
Um,
I don't know how I feel about salvia on camera though. Like I don't believe
Yeah.
that cameras can steal your souls, like some like the Native American kind of rumor. I do think that if you're on salvia, a camera can steal your soul. I actually would believe
No, but
that.
here's the thing. We're not going to film it. We're just going to all be together so that we can witness the thing. We don't have to watch you guys, but we'll just be in the house, whatever happens in the thing, but just to make sure everything's safe. And then we'll talk about it afterward.
I don't know if I could do that. Not
It's a
that one.
lot. It's a big ask.
Well, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I can't do
Okay,
it.
well,
Abbie said
well,
she'd
I think
do
it's
it.
just yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Abbie said she'd do it, and Thomas always brings it up. Abbie is like down to cosmonaut.
I'd rather be like, I'll do it at some point in the next month, you guys, and I'll let you know how it went. Versus, because the more
Do it
you
around.
build up and try and build an itinerary around it, like it's gonna fight your ass. Like
Mhm.
guaranteed, it's gonna fight your ass.
Abbie's not
Then
scared.
can we just DMT it then?
Absolutely, yeah, we'll do it right now.
We'll do that right now. We're filming it. Hold on.
Come on.
Thomas is like, make me big on the screen. Hold on.
No, I wouldn't.
He's like, wait. I got a corporate job.
Not quite, but maybe in the future. But also, I would never do anything illegal on stream for any reason.
Right?
If there is people, that they're, dream mapping, or they're talking about these psychedelic drugs and they're mapping those and like all of this stuff, do you think that there is something to maybe doing these drugs in other realm spaces, like going to Antarctica, or Aleister Crowley being like, I'm going to sleep in the pyramids?
Absolutely. It's the same
Waste
way
of
like
power.
younger in life, but if I was lucky enough to come across, like some acid and mushrooms, it'd be like, okay, well now I have to go and find, everything. I got to go and find some nitrous. I got to find some good weed. Like now you just got to do all of it in one time, in one night, because it's kind of like climbing a mountain and doing it there. Like Jack Kerouac style.
Only Riggs. Like, that would be awesome if you guys all did salvia while streaming. Just
No.
imagine that chaos.
First one to
No
jump out the
way.
window loses.
Just
It'll probably be
imagine
me.
that chaos. That would just be chaos. How long does it last?
I mean, if everything goes well, 7 to 15 minutes. If it doesn't go well,
That's
maybe
why
a
I can do
lifetime.
And
I've
we just
seen
don't stay
many
upstairs
people
in a
do that.
hotel. We just stay in a like 1-story Airbnb. We're good.
I've just
that's
seen
I
great
so
jump out a
many
window that
people
way. It's not
do
gonna hurt.
their first hit of salvia and then immediately, so I don't know how they do it, but they immediately find the front door and unlock it and go outside and start screaming. Like this has
Why?
happened so many times in so many different contexts.
Shit.
Why?
I know. I
Because
wonder what.
you're not on this planet anymore. You're in a completely different realm, and in that other realm, nothing
like,
doesn't
"Ah."
make sense. There's no such thing as a door. Who would care if you walked out a door and screamed? There's not even such thing as screaming. You know what I mean? Like you are that disassociated from reality.
Holy damn.
24-hour salvia stream.
Oh my god!
Oh no, man.
Oh my god.
I do want to do the
If it were
frog stuff,
legal
though.
nationally, I would 1,000,000% be down for that.
I'm not me.
I want to do Cambo, whatever it's called.
I might do. I've done mushrooms in like maybe a group of like 20 people on a stream.
Hmm.
And like it was just a mild dose, but I laughed and laughed and laughed. And for some reason, they played along. Like everybody just leaned in and was just like, we're all going to go on a trip together.
I think I've taken shrooms on the weaving spiders once. But like not a lot, just a little bit. And it was like the best time. I think we should all do that one day.
Does anybody have a good time on salvia?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
I would say you could have a valuable time, but I don't know if valuable is the same as good.
Is it the same as like DMT or mushrooms or acid? Or, I mean, I don't even feel like acid's necessarily that type of drug where you come back with a message.
What if it's
shrooms, DMT? Like
to me, salvia was the hardest kick in the ass I've ever had. The first time I was like, there's absolutely another reality that is laid directly on top of our own, which you don't get, at least I've never gotten from any other substance. That one in particular is like, it's realer than our dimension. It's so freaking weird.
So necessarily it's neither good or bad. It's just an experience, and how you perceive it could be in a good or bad way.
It's not necessarily euphoric. You don't feel good from it. And after it's done, because like even on mushrooms, you'll get like the weirds. Like after it's all waved away, you kind of feel like you're floating in like an isolation tank a little bit.
Awkward. Yeah.
You're kind of awkward, but it's like warm and it's like a good feeling. And even in like acid, you've got like the ramp up where like you get these bursts of energy and kind of euphoria. None of that happens on salvia. You're lucky if you don't just start pouring sweat and feeling like your whole body went to sleep and it's all like prickly and tingly. It's not like a fun feeling at all.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend
it now. Just saying.
DMT kicked my, like the first time it felt like greater than any ecstasy I ever did. And the second time it was the craziest, like heroic dose of anything I've ever taken in my life. And it kicked my ass. Like it changed who I was as a person to the core. But yeah, I don't know. I have no concept of salvia. Like I wish somebody could, but just witnessing it never looks
you gotta
good.
You gotta just do it. You gotta just do it once. And you got to do it you got to do it right too, because so many people do it their first time and they just get like 3/4 of the way there and they don't actually go through the door and they think that they know what it is and they've got no idea.
I don't know if that's for me.
Like at Firehorse, I peed my pants when I tried salvia. Felt like a never-ending series of doors, like a long caterpillar. I did not like it one bit.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, it's so that's such a common motif, like the caterpillar thing or the going through doors. What that is your body being split up into tiny little sections and spread out. And I've described this before as like you are feeling the transition from a 3D world into a 2D world. And the only way that happens, that's where people feel like they become one with a wall or they can't like get up from a chair because they've sank into it. It's because they're no longer operating in 3D space. They're now in like a 2D space.
It's 2D?
It's what it feels like. It feels like you turn.
Oh my God, you turn into the character from SpongeBob that he draws with a pencil. Oh no. What's that guy? SpongeBob, where he draws the pencil the character out of pencil and that 2D dimensional being becomes alive. And that's
kind of retarded and evil.
Yeah. It tripped me out, that episode.
That's so interesting because it's like,
and then he jumps out a window.
Like mushrooms, or I would say acid, you become kind of liquidy. In mushrooms, it becomes kind of like watercolory, like vibrant kind of things. DMT gets super fractal that you feel like you're becoming 4 and 5D. Like it is toward the forward. So the telling me salvia makes you 2D, this is blowing my, it's like, oh, this is a new concept to the thing.
It is unlike anything else. Like even for the most experienced psychonauts, I've only found 1 or 2 other people in my entire life that are like enthusiasts. Not just I did it once and it was cool, but I'm never doing it again. But like enthusiasts in that like I would love to do it more often. Even though most people, even if you're an enthusiast, most people kind of like age out of it a little bit, or you've done it enough times that you start losing the value in it.
They need to give me like maybe a paralyzing medicine, like momentarily paralyzing medicine, because I'm afraid of like moving. I don't want to move anywhere. I want to be like in the spot. I don't want to get up. I don't want to, that's the only thing I fear of it, because I've seen videos and everyone's just like, rolling all over the place.
Because they're fighting the transition into 2D reality. So what your brain's doing is like, no, I'm in 3D. Look, I can get up, I can walk around. Like that's literally the thought, and you have to be able to suppress it. And it's such a weird thing to describe, but like your body it will start to freak out. It's like, I'm not part of this wall. I'm not sinking into this two-dimensional space. Look at how much agency I still have over reality, but you
Look,
have to
I'm
suppress
walking.
every single part of your body that's trying to like disprove this.
So wild. I don't think I have the balls to do that.
That's a lucid dreaming technique right there, Chaney. The long haul
Just
method.
an endless
I
hallway
love
of doors.
Yeah.
These are one
If
of
you
the
do that,
trippiest dreams one could have.
This is
it
the
look-
back rooms. That's what, when you describe that to me, the caterpillar and the doors, that is the back rooms to me. Like that's one of my worst nightmares, of just like waking up in a solid color
Beetlejuice.
space and just, yeah.
That
So you should change it when you
worm.
lay down, though, because this is
Saturn.
like the lucid
You've been
dreaming
to
technique is
Saturn?
that you walk down a hallway with a corridor with a whole bunch of doors,
If-
but you gotta fill in the details. It doesn't have to be white. Like you can make all the doors different colors. But you're supposed to like pick the lighting fixtures, if there's plants, if there's vases, whatever, the flooring. You're supposed to like see all the details, and you keep walking down the hallway while you're laying down, with your eyes closed. And men are supposed to pick the door all the way at the back, so you do it like right before you start to fall asleep. Like the men pack like the door at the end of the hallway, and women are supposed to choose one to the right or the left at the end. And you walk through the door and pick a color for your door, so it's not supposed to be white either. Like pick a color and it's always that color. And when you go through the door, you walk right into a lucid dream. It's pretty freaking awesome.
Y'all, have you ever, what that reminds me of? Standing between two mirrors and having that almost same fucking experience, and
portal?
you're trying to like look at yourself through like yourself and see if you could see your many selves through the
And you see
mirror.
like yourself 5 million times.
Yeah. And where I come from, they're like, at night, don't stare at yourself in the mirror, because you could do like a soul transference or like an energy transference, and you get stuck in the realm of the mirrors and like switch. So I was like, that's not a bad idea. If I go through there, maybe life will be like totally mirrored. Maybe it'll be better. Or maybe
Well,
not.
have you
Maybe
heard that
it'll be
called a
worse.
demon portal when two mirrors are facing each other?
Yeah, that's what they call it. But
Yeah.
what if that's just a fear tactic?
This image that Chaney's got up right now, this is what salvia feels like whenever you do like an actual breakthrough. This is the transition from 3D to 2D. So what you can see is that in the bottom left corner, this is you sitting in your chair, whatever it is, and then it feels like your body is getting spread apart and chopped up in little tiny pieces and like spiraling around, like you yourself are turning into a fractal, which is why if you look at the tail end of that, it's a thumb. So this is like, this person actually feels like their entire body just got spread out in this long vortex, and they're looking at their thumb way out in the distance. And then on the right, you've got this audience of these like little sort of colorful entities that are just there observing you. They're just watching you, maybe judging, maybe laughing, maybe accepting or something. Maybe they're having fun. It's hard to always tell. And then the figure on the left, some people refer to that as the shepherdess or Lady Salvia, or sometimes they say they see like a lady in like a robe or in white. But there's always also like this gatekeeper entity that guards a door.
It looks like
and
Temet.
and like only if you're worthy can you go through that door. And it's so wild, because if you've ever had the experience and you see this image, you'll know exactly what this means. Like it's such a constant that people that haven't even heard about this anymore, they'll relate to this exact image because it's how you actually feel on it.
Well, yeah, listening to you describe it, this isn't even your picture, right? Like you understand the entire thing. Like the rest of us looking at it, looks like abstract art.
Like salvia trip art, they all have this very specific motif of a person getting split up into little tiny sections, and it turns into like it's a feeling. It's not a visual. I mean, you see this happen too, but you feel it way more than you see it, which is unlike LSD or mushrooms or almost anything else you can
Yeah.
throw out there. These psychedelics, you might get like a weird body feel to it, but you don't feel what you're seeing the same way in salvia. Like salvia
Yeah.
is so much stronger that you don't care about your sight or your vision or any of that. Like you're feeling way harder than anything.
It's
I am
visceral.
telling you, this is full. Like if I'm summer right now, this gives me sweaty palms. This image right here.
Yes, dude. Look, see, look, he's going from 3D to 2D, right? He's getting flattened out, and he's kind of becoming part of like the floor a little bit.
Oh shit, yeah.
It is the most common motif.
And look
that you'll
at
see.
audience over here.
Yep.
And then
It's the
back
same
here,
damn
look
thing.
at a doorway where somebody is like, if you're worthy enough, you can get through the doorway and look at who's in the doorway. It looks just like it's like Tibet or like ISIS.
And you'll also hear a lot of like carnival theme. Like as this is happening, you're at a carnival with lights flashing and things moving, and yeah, it's such a specific experience.
I'm gonna find more. I'm so into this like salvia trip art right now because I have been there and it wasn't on salvia. So it's like it makes me feel a way that I'm like, oh, I've seen that place, but I was on my way to another place and it was like the place that I felt like DMT took me to like get rid of my ego in a really fast way.
I feel
Like
like you still have some kind of control on DMT though. Even if you break through and even if you do like a heroic hit, as you get there and as you come back, you've got agency. Like you can think about, hey, I'm going to look at that and inspect it in more detail, or I'm going to close my eyes now. Again, in salvia, you don't have any agency.
Yeah, that is not for me. I no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
look at
Or
in the back.
it's
This
like
one's a
the
little
idea.
scarier, but it's got the same vibe.
What if it's the idea that you go back to source, like they say, like imagine a body of water and then you have like some droplets that kind of like drop up or like kind of splash out and up. So it's like kind of going back to where you came from into that whole big body of water. So it's like you're a droplet here, but your soul kind of goes into the back to the source of it being Looney Tunes like that. Fractals energy.
See,
Yeah,
this
see,
takes me
getting stretched apart.
Mm-hmm.
this takes me back to that whole like flattened amoeba feeling that we've talked about before. Like that's why I feel like this calls to me though, because I felt that.
And it's even got the door, and like it unzips, and then in the top right is where the door is.
And a door is usually represented something in movies, like let's say, what's that movie with Jim Carrey?
Truman
And he,
Show?
yeah, and he opens the door and he sees the truth.
Or Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar. Yep.
Yeah, look at this guy right here on the bottom. He's trying to prevent getting sucked into this 2D realm. Like, but it's not going to work. Like, you can't really. All you're going to do is you're going to fight it, and it's going to just be rough on you.
This doesn't look 2D to me.
Well, again, it's more about the feeling of becoming 2D.
Yeah,
It doesn't
and if
look
you look, the
2D.
door's flat here to the floor. It's like the 3D doesn't exist. It's like everything's still there. It's just flat. It's so wild. Even the birds outside are like flat. It's almost like
What's
you know,
what's
a
crazy though is
donut-shaped
that
earth.
not a lot of people articulate this particular like this 3D to 2D transition. They'll just feel it and then they'll represent it visually without even knowing what they're actually representing.
Like you have the eye in the middle and exit. Is there an exit sign above this door? Because everybody seems to say exit in their art.
I have to go to bed in a little bit. I have to
Yeah,
be up at
we
7:30.
can cut the stream. I'll be obsessed with this salvia art all night.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating, but I don't have the balls to do it. No way.
Well, that's why a lot of people's first introduction to salvia, at least in the 90s, was someone just passed them a bong or a bowl, and they're like, "Hey, I got this really good weed," and they would put like weed on top, and then just be like, "Go ahead and rip it, man." And that was most people's first introduction to salvia. Is they would get tricked into it because they wouldn't realize, and you probably wouldn't opt into it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
That's
No
that
way.
It's just really wild because look at the same thing. Like here's the whole audience to the right and everything. To the left, it's happening to his other hand. See
Well,
his
that's the
finger?
middle of his entire head is getting like unzipped from the top, and the left side of him is going into one swirl, and the right side of him is going into another swirl.
Our brains.
I just
are
love how you
so-
completely understand it. Like,
Why is that
completely.
giving me Wizard of Oz? One swirl goes that way, one swirl goes that way.
How long salvia been around? Like I mean,
It survived the conquistadors when the very first Spanish explorers came here, and they destroyed pretty much every shamanic crop and anything that didn't look like it was on board with Jesus. They would just torch it down, and this is one of the very few things that I think it was in Oaxaca. It was like one of the few things the shamans protected from the conquistadors so that they couldn't take it away. And it had lasted there for, I mean, what was that? At least 700 years or so. And it only exists in this very one specific place in the world. That you can't find it growing in China. In fact, you can't find it growing anywhere. If you want to grow your own, you have to get a clone of the originals from Mexico, and then just hope that you don't destroy the clones in the process.
This is mind blowing to me. I'm gonna ask AI later. I'm gonna see what Grok thinks the salvia trip looks like.
It was all discovered too. The guy that made salvia known to the Western world is the exact same CIA funded banker that found magic mushrooms, Gordon Wasson, and then brought it to Skull and Bones and Century Club, and then from there the rest of the world knows about it. But it's the exact same guy that found magic mushrooms is the one that also found salvia.
Isn't that so interesting? Like for whatever reason, like these secret societies, it was so effing important to them. Yeah, that's not what I wanted at all. That's very creepy what it gave me, Grok. It just gave me a picture of like a black man standing in a lavender field. You know, it probably gave me a picture of like a salvia farmer. I don't know what it looks like as a flower. I just X'd out.
It kind
All
of
right.
looks like lavender, yeah.
Do you guys have anything you want to plug or anything going on this week? Or Abbie, everybody send your good energy to Abbie and make sure that you write her all week and send her positive stuff. She'll mentally need it.
Thank you.
How's the watermelon water?
Oh, it was good. I finished it. It's really hit the spot.
Perfect. If you guys feel like getting any salt packets from Element, you could use my code. And if Abbie, I feel like she probably will order one more box and then she'll have a code and I'll swap it out for mine so you can get Abbie some free salt packets. Maybe then maybe we'll get Layla over on salt or Thomas. But I do think it's coming out in stores. Like, and once I don't have to order it online, dreamy. So anyways, I love you guys so much. And Ben Balderson hopefully is going to come hang out with us very, very
Woohoo.
soon. It's really just me scheduling. Life's been so crazy. So maybe we'll do that the week after you get back, Abbie.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So, all right. Thomas, what do you have going on this week?
I'm going to spend pretty much every free moment I've got mailing out over 600 more to go of the Illuminati comics. So if you did get your own copy, make sure that you filled out the survey on Kickstarter so that we've got your address. And then as soon as all these are sent out, we'll have a final count on how many extras we got. So if you missed out on the Kickstarter, you'll have one last chance to get a copy of that. So
that's so exciting.
This is what comes
What's
in the
that
mail.
cool
It's got the little
packaging?
Paranoid American and Donut logos on the back.
That's awesome. And so all your friends will know. They'll know
Yeah,
exactly
you won't
what
be
they're
able to hide
dealing
that you're
with.
schizo from the family.
So, anyways, you guys, we love you so much and thank you for hanging out with us. Like always, make sure that you're following everyone everywhere that you need to follow us in case YouTube kicks us off because, you know, our days are probably numbered. Our last episode got in so much trouble for playing the pill commercial that Apple put out with the guy from Last of Us. Anyway, we love you. We will see you very soon.
Love
And
you.
let me find Juliette Lewis here. So I have it. Oh, yeah. Make sure you turn it down a little because this bitch be loud. Okay. Love you guys. Bye bye.
Can't you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes the Here comes the world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, clones, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, clones, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.